down.
Cornyn says, quote, "We cannot allow these rogue legislators to avoid their constitutional responsibilities. With Democrats out of town, the Texas House has not been able to reach a quorum required to approve a new electoral map, expanding the state's GOP congressional majority. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says the FBI doesn't have jurisdiction because the lawmakers haven't broken any federal law."
Fox's Ryan Schmelz in D.C. At least 3 FBI officials are told their last day is tomorrow. Brian Driscoll resisted demands to turn over names of agents who worked on January 6th Capitol riot investigations. Stephen Jensen played a key role in those investigations. Walter Giardina was involved in several Trump administration-related investigations, including one that sent trade advisor Peter Navarro to prison. There's an update on yesterday's shooting at Fort Stewart in Georgia.
The Secretary of the Army, Dan Driscoll, said 3 of the 5 troops shot have now been released from the hospital. He said one soldier initially tried to stop the suspect.
They were unarmed and ran at and tackled an armed person who they knew was actively shooting their buddies, their colleagues, their fellow soldiers. Another soldier jumped on top of the person.
The suspect, U.S. Army Sergeant Cornelius Radford, was arrested. The New York Times says he sent a text to his aunt before the shooting saying he'll be in a better place soon because he was about to go and do something. His father told the paper his son had complained of racism and had wanted a transfer.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the plan is to take over Gaza completely.
In order to assure our security, remove Hamas there, enable the population to be free of Gaza, and to pass it to civilian governments.
America's listening to Fox News.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The southerly flow is back, and so is our typical August feel. Sunny, hot, and humid going through the afternoon. We should peak out at about 92. Warm and humid, partly cloudy tonight. Upper 80s this evening, 73 for the low. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, sunny, hot, and humid each day, and each day peaking out at about 93. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for their Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for HVAC services, aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being here with us this afternoon. President Trump, who are we talking to just recently this week? I was like, that census thing. President Trump has said something about the census. Is it possible that we redo another one to try to make things more fair? Today, President Trump puts out this on Truth Social. I've instructed our Department of Commerce to immediately begin work on a new and highly accurate census based on modern-day facts and figures, and importantly, using the results and information gained from the presidential election of 2024. People who are in our country illegally all capital letters, will not be counted in the census. Ryan, do you know how he ends his Truth Social posts these days?
Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Bingo. You have my attention, Mr. President. My question originally was, is this even workable? Who were we talking to about this? Who said, I'm not sure that this is possible. But the idea that we would recount and reallocate representation in our American government, that's the YouTube live chat poll for today, and I really would love to know what you think about it. Should President Trump redo the sentence? You've got three options. Yes to count only citizens, yes to count all with legal status, and no. Now, the one that's in the middle there, to count those who have legal status here, there are people who are here on legal status, paying into the system, paying taxes. You don't have to be a citizen to pay taxes. That's certainly the case. But it's kind of a wrinkle that I think we should be thinking about. Should only citizens be represented in the United States government? Those are your three options. The follow-up question that I'd love to get your comments on in the Anti-Fry YouTube channel is this even possible? I'm going to ask Hans about it, because Hans is going to understand the mechanisms behind the putting that into place. But Donald Trump here has already said he's instructed our Department of Commerce to immediately begin work. So it seems to me like the president wouldn't put that out there if he didn't think it was doable.
You know what? It's interesting to me about this topic is, first of all, I thought this was not going to happen. So the fact that he's tweeting about it and truthing about it is a little bit of a surprise to me. So good call, Annie. But second, if he does this in 2026, would they have to do it again in 2030? Or would they just have to do it again in 2036? Because it just has to happen every 10 years, as far as I understand.
Well, I would think that they would. I think the schedule would still stay on par. I still think you do it in 30.
Seems like it would be up to the next administration.
The census in the 2020 that got punted to 2021, I guess it was because of COVID. That was rife with problems.
Yes, major problems.
Big problems. I almost feel like it would be possible to justify the redo of this one as an anomaly based on all of the concerns that we had with the one that was just done. And also, I've been thinking about this a lot. I'm going to ask Hans about this in about 10 minutes from now. But Illinois obviously gerrymandered. Stephen Colbert has J.B. Pritzker on. We played that clip for you yesterday. You've probably seen it by now. Stephen Colbert, trying to really prove the detractors wrong, that he's for everybody, invites J.B. Pritzker to be on a show earlier this week, and he's like, hey, you got those Texas Democrats up in your state. I'm going to show you a map of Illinois. And then he tells J.B. Pritzker, this is a gerrymandered map. And J.B. Pritzker's response is, we had kindergartners draw it. That you can't even make that up. He thinks it's funny. Then J.B. Pritzker responds, the problem with what Texas is doing is they're gerrymandering in the middle of the decade. They don't gerrymander like we do, which is on time. And if you've got a bull crap census that you're basing your gerrymandering on, then maybe that's the... I honestly don't think that Donald Trump is like searching for a valid reason. I think he's way far past that. But I don't think that you have to change the whole future of it. Or possibly with technology, I would think that you could do a census more often than every 10 years. When this has been established in the past, a census is a gigantic undertaking. If we are now in 2025, I think that technology has probably advanced in the last 5 years enough to validate we do a census more often. Maybe it's every 5 years.
Well, regardless, you're right about the 2020 census, which didn't even happen on time because it was so rife with problems. And it's not just, conservative radio world saying it was problematic. The Census Bureau says it was problematic. The Census Bureau itself under Biden said that they screwed up like 8 to 9 states. So that is enough right there, justification to say we have to redo the census. This should have been talked about as like a campaign promise. It was so bad.
One of the things that I have repeatedly said Stephen Miller, advisor to President Trump, needs to do when he gets done with government is open a Cameo to win fights within your marriage. Like, you've got little petty fights. It doesn't matter what it is. Stephen Miller, whatever you want, as long as you can pay the man, I think Stephen Miller could win the fights about the socks that your spouse is constantly laying on the floor. I think he could make an argument, make a case, and help you win that argument. Here's where he's talking in context of the Texas redistricting and the gerrymandering issue.
Illinois, Chicago, New York, Massachusetts. Democrats have gerrymandered the vote beyond recognition to try to maintain their advantage in the House elections. On top of that, let's not forget, Democrats rigged the 2020 census by including illegal aliens. Remember, they sued Donald Trump. They sued the administration. They fought tooth and nail to include illegal aliens in the census. 20 to 30 of House Democrat seats wouldn't exist but for illegal aliens. Texas is taking just a small corrective step against this ocean of fraud, this ocean of abuse by the corrupt Democrat Party, Sean.
So he's saying 20 to 30 seats wouldn't exist in the House if it weren't for the counting of the illegal aliens. I guess that's really what they are, that are in our country. There are reports right now. The number I continue to see is 42. If you redid the census and districted based on a new fair census that counted citizens, or the other alternative for yes, we should redo the census in our YouTube poll today is yes to count anybody who has legal status, which would obviously include citizens, but not the illegal aliens, not just doing a head count. That there are 42 seats on the line. And I've also seen a lot of pundits out there talking about how if you look at the states where Democrats could effectively gerrymander, they've really almost maxed themselves out. They're running out of territory. They've done this. They've taken this ball almost as far down the field as they possibly can. And the Republicans, they are not completely innocent, across the entire 50 states and trying to draw beneficial districts. But the Democrats, the percentage, the opportunity that they have to effectively use this to retain power, they've squeezed the rag near dry. And if the Republicans were to step up to the plate and swing with the same fervor that the Democrats have done on this particular issue, they're done.
Yeah, looking at you, Missouri. Also, Illinois, by the way, that stupid clip of Pritzker on Colbert, you already referenced it, but one of the things that he's saying when you just stop and take a step back from the joke, which didn't land, about, kindergartners wrote it, and then we move on. Like, no address of the actual issue. What he's saying is you're doing it mid-decade. That's you shouldn't do that. AKA, we did it first. Mm-hmm. I mean, lost in this discussion is him openly saying, we did this first. And so you can't catch up now. That's not fair to us.
Don't take away our advantage here. We did this. It's so funny to me that that's what Democrats do. It's their retort. Their biggest problem with this is you are cheating the way we cheated, and we don't like it. So stop it. That's our advantage.
I'll be interested to see what Hans has to say about this, and I could pretty much do the entire rest of the show talking to Hans about all the issues that are fluttering about right now. I've been talking. I started the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 in June of 2016 for 2 hours on Saturdays, 5 to 7 p.m. And Hans von Spakovsky was one of the guests that would come on my show on Saturday between 5 and 7 p.m. Like, that's a special kind of person. Yeah. It is not easy to get guests, especially a lot of times that you can work with people and they'll record something during business hours. Hans would come on and talk to me about whatever was going on, but a lot of what was taking place was Russia collusion. June of 2016, my relationship with Hans von Spakovsky was accompanied by Russia collusion the entire time.
Born in strife.
And he has been spot on with his assessments of what's happening. He's been asking the right questions. And to think that we are near 10 years, over 9 years, into this storyline, and to think in June of 2016, July, August, whenever we were having these conversations to begin with, to think about having those conversations with him at the beginning, if the consequences, if the grave consequence of that storyline would have had the weight that it was supposed to, we would not be talking about Donald Trump today in 2025 at all. Hillary Clinton would have won. Lord knows where we would be right now. Donald Trump did the unthinkable, won that election in 2016, and this story has lingered for 10 years. There are people, I don't know if I see it, maybe we see them in our YouTube chat still, but there are still people who are absolutely convinced that Donald Trump was in bed with Russia trying to scoop the election from the American people. Completely blind to the fact that Donald Trump's opposition, who manifested this story to try to keep him from winning an election, was trying to steal an election from the American people. That's what they were doing. They just flipped the script and accused the other guy for it. Hans von Spakovsky on the Annie Fry Show next. We're going to get to the census. We're going to get to Russiagate and anything else we can fit in about 10, 12 minutes. And we need your thoughts on the YouTube live chat poll. Should President Trump redo the sentence? He has said today on Truth Social, he's directed the Department of Commerce to get to it. Let's be right back. Don't go away.
Way to go, scared to live, scared to die. We ain't perfect, but we try. Get along while we can always.
The Retirement Advisory Group and retirementkey.com. I want to encourage you to look into what they can do for you when you are in that sweet spot, that end of your 50s, maybe you're in your 60s. It's not even just for people who are hoping to retire. This can also be for people who have recently retired. You got to make some smart moves with that time frame in your life. And the Retirement Advisory Group, they understand how to do it. 314-993-9494. That's the number to call. You're going to set up a free conversation with them. They're going to learn about you. You're going to learn about them. And then you can decide if you want to go further into business with them. Retirement Advisor Group is online at retirementkey.com, and they're going to help you learn how they can set up for you your own personalized structured income plan. You will be empowered with information that will give you the peace of mind that you need to have a worry-free retirement. Call and schedule at 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. retirementkey.com.
Did you know August is Pet Appreciation Month? Mark Cox here for my friends at Zero Res. They want you to know Zero Res is safe for all pets, no harsh soaps or chemicals, and right now you can get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for $129, then get 15% off pet odor treatments and $50 off air duct cleaning. Trust me, I own a 60-pound golden retriever. Sometimes your pets can make a mess. Zero Res is good on carpets, tile, hardwood, rugs, upholstery. Every surface in your home can be Zero Resified, so it's time to call my cleaning pros at Zero Res. Call 314-474-2020, ask for the 97.1 special, or go to ZeroResSTL.com. They have a 4.9 rating on Google, over 5,800 reviews. 314-474-2020. Spell it backwards or forwards, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Live, local, and conservative. It's the Annie Fry Show. 97.1 FM Talk.
One of the big things is it helps decide congressional maps.
Right.
Does this have everything to do with redistricting?
Well, it does. In fact, we know the 2020 census, the errors were almost always to the detriment of red states. Blue states like Rhode Island.
Do we know that?
We do know that. The Census Bureau's own audit of its work has proven that. Blue states like Rhode Island were overcounted. Rhode Island then didn't lose a seat. Red states like Alabama were undercounted. Listen, this is just a fact. It wasn't all red-blue, but it was disproportionately red-blue.
Do you
We the people of the United States,
More perfect.
in order to form a more perfect union,
Heritage legal expert Hans von Spakovsky.
Hans, I am so excited to talk to you today. I could talk to you all day about the billions of things going on right now, specifically with the Justice Department. But I wanted to start with the census and ask you if you had seen President Trump's True Social post that was put out directing the Department of Commerce to get to it and redo the census.
I did see that, and I actually have to tell you, I think that's a good idea. And you just played a clip that is one of the reasons why it's a good idea, because in 2022, the U.S. Census Bureau put out a report admitting that it had made a huge set of errors in the 2020 census. It had overcounted and undercounted 14 states. Almost all the states that were overcounted, I think with one exception, were blue states. All the states that were undercounted, with one exception, were red states. And listen, the errors were so big, Annie, that remember, they always use the population to do apportionment, right? The Census Bureau says, based on population, now here's how many members of the U.S. House you as a state have. Those errors were so big that Texas got cheated out of an extra House seat it should have had. Florida was cheated out of 2 seats that it should have gotten.
Man, Hans von Spakovsky with us right now at the Heritage Foundation. So would you say that President Trump's direction in this regard to redo the census, it's more of a correction than it is like a new installment in how we do censuses? It's basically saying the last one we did was incorrect, it needs to be redone, so we should engage in that. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that is correct. Plus, everyone should remember that we are one of the most mobile societies of any of the Western democracies. People move a lot. Texas, where, there's a huge fight going on over redistricting right now. I think last year they had the highest growth rate in their population of any state in the U.S. So many people have been moving to Texas that in the last 5 years since that census, they've added over 2 million residents to the state. And, of course, 2020 census didn't take that into account.
What is the undertaking for something like what President Trump is directing? Is it actually feasibly actionable that this could be done in what amount of time?
Well, there's no way it could be done this year. I do think they could get it done next year. If they right now took the census form, figured out what questions should be on it, and immediately sent it off to the printers to start printing them, and if they got out of mothballs the blueprint, the plan that they have in place for doing a nationwide census and started putting that in place, hiring people, I think they could get it done by next year. This is all made easier by one very big fact that people need to realize. The days of census workers going to every single household and the Census Bureau having to mail a form to every single household in the U.S. are long gone. In the last census in 2020, I think it was over 60% of American households filled out the census form online. And that makes conducting a nationwide census easier and faster. It's still a big undertaking, and it would take a lot of work and a lot of organization, but I actually think it could get done next year.
Hans, if it gets done in 2025 or if it gets done in 2026 before November, when would the new maps be drawn and when would they take effect?
Well, if Census could get all of this done and the data out to the states by December of next year, then the legislatures, as you know, most states, their legislatures are part-time. They only come into session in the first quarter of the year. If they could get this done by December of 26, then in the first quarter of 2027, the states could get to have the data. They could do redistricting, and so the data would be ready for the 2028 election.
And just as I'm just kind of thinking about this as I'm listening to you, a lot of people think about the congressional seats and how they are divvied up to make sure that they are representing an equal amount of people, specifically in the House of Representatives across the country. Does that also affect the electoral votes that each state would have?
Not unless Congress changed federal law to change the apportionment formula and to say apportionment will be redone. So Congress would have to act to do that. But states who want to use the new population data for redistricting, for actually, drawing the political boundary lines of their existing congressional seats and state legislative seats, they could do that immediately. They don't have to get permission from Congress for that.
Hans, you're just a wealth of information. I love that I can ask these questions and pinpoint. I bet if you're at a trivia night and they're like, this category is census, you're like, yes, pass me the answer sheet. Hans von Spakovsky with us right now. I want to shift a little bit into, was talking about this in our first segment before we brought you on, how you've been coming on my show since I was doing Saturdays, I think in 2016, and we've been talking about Russia the entire time. We now have a Justice Department that is throwing big names out there. We've got Tulsi Gabbard throwing big names out there. And then also, hand in hand, we've got James Comer of the Oversight Committee subpoenaing the likes of up to Bill and Hillary Clinton to come in to answer, do depositions there. What do you make of this moment in time right now as far as the exposure of the deep state and how this Trump administration is handling it?
All I can say is thank goodness that finally, people are acting to try to investigate all of the wrongdoing we know about and all the potential wrongdoing that particularly went on during the Biden administration. I will tell folks that even if none of this results in criminal prosecutions, and look, Pam Bondi has said she's got a strike force investigating it. There are rumors that a grand jury investigation is about to start. Even if there aren't criminal investigations, the public disclosure of all this is very, very important because the things that were done, the corrupt use of government power during the Biden administration, I think are unprecedented in our history. And we need to know who did this kind of thing. I've said this before. We need to know who did it, who engaged in this kind of abusive power so that we can ensure that they never, ever are in the government again, never in a position where they can do this again, and also so that we can figure out, for example, with our intelligence agencies who were involved in this, how do they need to be reformed, who there needs to be fired, and what kind of rules need to be changed or put in place to make sure this kind of abusive use of government power doesn't happen again.
When I'm looking at this long list of people who have been issued subpoenas from James Comer, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Merrick Garland, James Comey, Bill Barr, Alberto Gonzales, Jeff Sessions, Bob Mueller, Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder. When these people are subpoenaed to come in and give a deposition, is that under oath? Is that is that a grand jury? What is the context of the information that they're going to be compelled to give there?
Well, assuming they show up, as opposed to claiming the Fifth Amendment and saying, I'm not going to testify at all. No, it's under oath. And if you're testifying before Congress and you lie, you can be prosecuted for perjury just as if you were in a court of law and you lied. Now, if you lie to Congress, Congress can't prosecute you. They have to refer that over to the Justice Department. And the Justice Department is the folks who can prosecute you. But no, you risk perjury charges if you lie under oath to Congress.
If Representative Comer, who chairs the House Oversight Committee, sends a subpoena to Hillary Clinton and it has to do with the Epstein case, is that going to be a public hearing or a private hearing?
Well, I'm assuming they're going to do private, non-public depositions first to find out what they know or what they're willing to say. Whether that becomes public at some point, the transcripts released or the video and audio that's going to be up to Chairman Comer.
And so it says in his post on X from August 5th that they are working to have these individuals appear for depositions through subpoenas. It's possible. This isn't necessarily going to just be a circus show where we see the committee sitting up there on the dais and the witness, and that all seems to be very politically charged. And I don't know if we always get a lot of information. I feel like if it's private, I guess I just trust the people in charge right now to ask the right questions to get the answers we need to have.
No, that's right. Because remember, the whole problem when witnesses appear before a hearing is that each member of the committee only has 5 minutes to ask a question and get an answer. That's not the case in a deposition. Depositions are usually actually conducted by the lawyers who work for the committee. And when somebody refuses to answer or gives a confusing answer, that lawyer can continue to cross-examine them, ask question after question after question, trying to get at the truth. And that's why it's important that they do these depositions first before there's any kind of public hearing.
And then last question to kind of wrap this all together here. If my understanding is that the Comer subpoenas are for the Epstein case, they're in regards to the Epstein case. Are there questions that could be asked and, if so, answered that could add a detail to the Russia investigation that could cross-pollinate information into another investigation that's actively going on at the same time?
Well, certainly with regard to Hillary Clinton, because as you know, there were disclosures just within the last, I think, 2 weeks of DNC emails that indicated that Hillary Clinton herself gave approval for the plan to create the Russia-Trump collusion hoax and to use it to distract attention from her email server problems and the fact that she was keeping classified information on her home email server that was apparently penetrated by Russian intelligence.
That's a full circle ending right there.
Yeah, isn't it?
This is the story that just keeps on giving. We're grateful to have you along for the ride and look forward to connecting to you again. 1 week goes past. It's like a year's worth of news headlines. So we're always great to get you back here as fast as we can.
Sure thing. All right.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Gosh. To just leave a lot on the table there because I have to go to a break. I'm 5 minutes late. All right. Let us know what you think about the president and that census. Listening to Hans von Spakovsky there, how do you feel about it? Are you more compelled to support it? I have a feeling possibly, I don't know, maybe you guys are all in favor of a redone census. I think that the redoing of the census could solve a multitude of unfair problems that have been pushed upon Republican voters in this country, people who live in purple states and red states. You've been had. We all know it. I think the census might be the way to fix it, or at least a major way to fix it. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
There's a maniac out in front of me. Got an angel on my shoulder and Mephistopheles.
HomeShieldFoundationRepairs.com. Please consider hiring Matt Hayes and the amazing crew that he has. He's got some really great people who work for him. A lot of times in trades and skilled work like this, some people will bop around from place to place trying to find somewhere that they want to land. When the people who work for Matt find the culture that exists at Home Shield Foundation Repair, they want to stay. And it's very evident with the team that they have that's going to come out to your home. You're going to see that very quickly because they do great work. They make customers happy, and they can move on to the next one. Word of mouth ends up doing the trick for the business as it is. If you have uneven concrete at your home, if you have a walkway that needs to be leveled out, if you have a structural concern with your garage because the ground floor, the foundation is cracked, and you really don't know what you don't know until that gets really, really messy, you need Home Shield Foundation Repair to come out and assess your situation. 314-227-9636. Call Matt Hayes at 314-227-9636 or find him online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Big news for gun owners. Mark Cox here for the Range St. Louis West. You know, the big, beautiful bill eliminates the $200 tax stamp on suppressors next January, but the Range is celebrating right now. They're holding a sweepstakes for a new suppressor at the Range. The Range will give you a $300 credit toward the new suppressor, and they'll pay for the tax stamp. Suppressors protect your hearing, and they improve your accuracy. Sign up to win at therangestl.com/971 before August 15th.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Like I said before, tariffs had absolutely zero effect on our equipment pricing. No manufacturer raised their prices. What has affected the pricing is the previous 4 years of these ridiculous mandates. I mean, I say ridiculous, it's shameful. But that being said, if you're told that you need a new system, or your air conditioner is bad, or you're looking to replace your system, if you want a common sense approach which works for you, your family, and your budget. When I say your budget, it never is what you want it to be on this equipment, but common sense approach, 15, 20 minutes of your time, and explain to you your options. No Kool-Aid being handed out. I'm Bart Inman. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I. The easiest way to get a hold of me with the easiest number, Missouri and Illinois, there's only one, 314-293-2600. Remember, 0% financing is available for most up to 60 months. Fantastic deal. God bless.
Okay, should President Trump redo the census? There are a couple options here. We're asking you to decide today, since this is big news. YouTube live chat poll of the day. You find it by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube. Today's date will come up along with that question. You just click on one of the options to vote. 12:37. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Where common sense rules the mic. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Punk or emo?
Oh, man. It's
lit.
not punk. It's got to be emo.
No, it is
It's
not.
a little bit lame.
Did you like punk or just because you think it's lame, it goes in the emo category?
Yes. That's how I
You're like
define it.
Backstreet Boys, emo.
Well, we can make a case.
Well, that's my point. That's not emo.
You think it's just not punk. It's just not punk. I don't know if it's emo. But it's definitely not punk.
I think what you think is punk, I think is alternative.
Say that again?
I think that if we're talking about the same music,
yeah.
I think I would call a lot of it punk and you would call it alternative.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or no, you would call it punk and I would call it alternative.
Late alternative.
Correct. And I'm calling late alternative punk and then late punk emo.
Well, I agree with you about emo though.
No,
I don't think we're
just
off.
disagreed. You just called My Own Worst Enemy by Lit emo.
Yeah, it's got emo elements. Just because I want to throw it into the sort of lame category.
The question is, for the people who are big Lit fans, do they want to like key your car and attack you and tell you how big of a piece of crap you are, or do they want to cry? We'll take a poll.
Yeah.
And if crying wins, then it's emo.
I think that's fair.
I don't know that we are talking to the audience that will give us a scientific result.
That's a decent guitar riff. But
it's a great song.
It's I don't know. It's just so everything about it when
Pink
I was in
Floyd?
high school.
Emo.
I'm like, there's a little bit of poser in this, isn't there?
Well, it's funny. My friend was in a band, and two members of the band were really big Rage Against the Machine fans. My friend was a really big fan of girls, and they would always want to play Rage Against the Machine fans. And he was like, "Hey, can't we just play something that would bring the ladies to the front?"
Was a big fan of girls?
Yes. Can we play something that would bring the ladies to the front?
That's
is what
a
his line was.
characteristic you use to describe one of your friends?
Yes.
Well, in a band, I would say that's
In
a
high
fair
school,
assessment
yes.
of some people getting in bands.
And this was the song he always wanted to play.
That makes sense.
My friend was a big fan of girls.
There are some guys.
I just want to know more about the rest of the friend group.
He learned to play guitar so he could meet girls.
Yeah.
Don't most people learn how to play guitar so they can meet girls?
I don't know. It's 50-50.
Yeah.
Some guys just love guitar.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they just love rocking.
When they're in their teens?
Yeah. Yeah. Some guys love rock. Now
They're like, I guess I'll just learn how to play this guitar really awesome, and I don't know, maybe some girls will come around. I'll consider it.
Those are the ones that like the girls.
Yes. The other ones aren't concerned with the girls at all.
I don't speak this language. This is X's and Y's, and it's not the right time. I don't know. We're going to fight about this for a long time. You've got Wiggins America coming up that kind of fits a little bit in the same vein. We talk about Gen Z slang all the time. You're going to tell us about Gen X slang?
Gen X slang. Now, I'm borderline Gen X,
No,
but
you're
you
not.
guys
You're a
are just
millennial.
under it. Now, I graduated pre-2000.
That doesn't have anything to do with it.
That's why it's called millennial.
No,
2000.
it's not. No, it's not.
Then what is it? What's the term millennial mean?
It has to do with where you were at the turn of the millennium, but it doesn't have to do specifically with graduation. You were born in 82?
81.
81? You're a millennial.
I was always told that if you graduated pre-2000, that's what made you a millennial. 2000.
You were always told that?
Mm-hmm. Even in 2000, I remember that being a phrase that was just starting to become popular.
So you want to be Gen X?
I don't know. I kind of am. I was always told when I was in high school that I was part of Gen X, but
The problem with the generations is that when it was in vogue to trash all over millennials, the people who were being complained about were not our age of millennial. The millennials, this is something Jack Posobiec has talked a lot about. I've definitely hitched to that wagon about centennials, is like the first half of millennials. We are divided in the millennial generation due to the installment of internet in your everyday life. Mm-hmm. And we did not. When did you have internet in your house first time?
Mid-90s.
Your age?
Oh, 14 or 15.
High school.
Mm-hmm.
Brad?
Yeah, I was like 16 or 17.
Maybe. I remember having an AOL Instant Messenger, Go Eagle 43, in junior high. But a lot of I had friends in my class who had it, so I could talk to them through it. But it wasn't a means of communication that anyone relied on. It was just like, "Hi, we're talking through a computer."
Mm-hmm.
Hi. It wasn't a part of society. It wasn't something that. It's kind of the way AI is right now. I feel like there could be a generational divide with Gen Zers, people who grew up without having, like, you still sort of have to think for yourself up until now, but pretty soon AI is going to make it so we're just have to be vegetables on the couch, not doing anything ever, if we so choose. But my children cannot understand at all what it would be like to not have the internet. Everything we do is one way or another connected to the internet. You make dinner, you bake a cookie, you look the recipe up on the internet. I still get out cookbooks, but that's because that's the way that I used to. They were my grandma's cookbooks. But when it comes to those generational divides, when you have something so pivotal, so it affects in such a great magnitude how you do your daily life, of course there's going to be a before the internet people and an after the internet people. And we're actually the people who are referred to as elder millennials, or as we've said before here, centennials. We came of age without the internet as a functional part of how we live our lives, but we came into our professional lives ahead of the curve because we were accustomed to it. We hadn't established, how do you do business without email? How do you do business without Zoom calls? How do you do business without the ability to, put together a presentation on a computer and just zip it over instead of having to go print it out and walk it over and walk people through it. Like, there are people who in the workforce knew how to do things the old-fashioned way. Doesn't mean it was the wrong way, but there was definitely a new way of doing it. And then COVID is another thing that came in and forced everybody's hand. It was either learn or be passed by. Learn how to do all this tech stuff. You can't say anymore like, oh, that's not how I do things. Specifically in radio, there was a lot of that. Like, oh, I don't do that. And that was like understood. You could be of a certain level of experience in a business like this, and I'm sure it's that way for pretty much all the other businesses. Teachers, I know that a lot of what teachers had to do and learn and were forced to integrate during COVID, you could kind of get away with being like, oh, that's not how I do things. But then COVID set in, and it's like, nope, you have to, or you can't teach, you can't sell, you can't work. And people started to do it. It's just, I think people look at millennials like they're some sort of negative generation. I think we're a pretty powerful generation. I did see an article, I think it was in CNBC, I'd have to go back and find it, that said that millennials now are the largest generation in middle management at this point in time. But we're in our mid-40s.
It would make sense.
At the oldest, we're in our mid-40s. Most millennials are going to have mortgages if they're ever going to have a mortgage. They probably have one by now, close to it. And, Ethan being Gen Z, he's 24, and he's living a grown-up life at 24. So, like, the millennial, the curse of the millennial, I will remind people all the time, that's just kids these days. And you just change the name of the kids these days. I'm sure that people had a lot to say about Gen Z. Boomers had a lot to say about Gen Z. There are a lot of movies made about that as well. I don't think it's such a bad thing.
And it'll be Gen Alpha soon, like very soon.
My kids.
We'll be saying Gen Alpha.
All right, let's get Ethan in here and see if he understands Gen X slang.
Gen X slang. We're gonna test everybody.
All right, we'll be right back. Don't go away. Michael's Flooring Outlet. You find them online at igotfloored.com, but you can also find them in St. Louis in store, on location in 3 different places. St. Charles County and Main Street. It's in Old Town St. Peter's at Mid Rivers and Highway 70. You can find them in West County on Olive Boulevard, just a mile off of 270 West on Olive. And they also have a great location for you, Michael's Flooring Outlet in Dardine Prairie. You can go online at igotfloored.com and pre-shop. That's certainly what I do in these types of instances. You got a big investment to make. You want quality flooring. You don't want to overpay for it. Michael's Flooring Outlet is, if it's not the place you start, it's definitely a place you need to shop before you make a final decision on who earns your hard-earned dollar, because they have the selections that you're looking for. And when you go into their stores, you go into their locations, if you're trying out carpet, they're going to be able to show you that Mohawk Smart Strand carpet that you might be looking at, or all of the other types of floorings that you might be considering. And they're going to be able to experience it. You're going to be able to see it the way it would look in your home. They're wonderful at prepping you to make an educated and smart decision. igotfloored.com.
97.1 FM Talk presents Talk in Action, where we shine a spotlight on local charities making a difference in our community. Join us as we give back and connect neighbors in need. Visit 971talk.com/talkinaction to learn more.
What's your favorite 4-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our 4-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Now, back to the Annie Fry Show. Real talk for real people. 97.1 FM Talk.
Wiggins.
Oh, Wiggins.
All right, I have a bunch of slang. Now, we've done Gen Z slang before.
What does Gen X for Ethan get in here?
I think it's the bump music playing and then him being late anyway.
That's code?
Yeah, that's code. All right,
He's
here
on
we
Gen
go.
Z time right now.
He's really going to be tested here because the rest of us are very close to Gen X, but we might not be Gen X.
What are you guys?
Well, we just talked about this.
We're millennials.
Got it.
We are
old
for the purpose of this segment, millennials.
No. He is sort of a millennial who's kind of diabetic.
I'm kind of Gen X. I fall into this very strange middle category.
Well, you fall into a very strange category, but it
So
doesn't
what
have
I'm
to do
hearing
with
is
your generation.
You don't belong. You don't fit in. That's what
Yeah,
I'm hearing.
yeah, that's the way I've always felt.
That checks out.
It's very Gen X of you.
Very much. All right, let's start with an easy one of Gen X slang. How about bodacious? What do you think? Does everybody know what this means? Is this an easy one? Bodacious? No? Really? The look on your face suggests
I feel
you
like
do not.
These all have to go to Ethan first.
I feel like I've heard it before, but bodacious. I don't know.
What
I'm
if
thinking,
somebody was talking about a really hot chick? She would be a bodacious what?
Babe?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So like she's really hot?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to struggle with this if you don't know bodacious.
Can we-
Because these get harder.
Ethan, would you be willing to,
Thank you.
after we're done with this, go around the office and just use some of this Gen Z slang? Just try to use it in context so we can video and see what happens.
I'm sure that would go really
That would be
well.
great.
Go splendid.
Can you do that?
Sure. Why not?
Since we all know what it is.
We'll just like integrate it into your work life in a casual way and see how it goes.
You want to define it, Brad?
Bodacious is just a positive thing.
Yeah, it's just
very good.
It's good. It's awesome. It's bodacious.
Bodacious. That's a word. Is it like an actual word though? Like
Yeah.
in the dictionary?
Says the Gen Zer.
You know, that's a good question. I think so.
I'm doing that based off of knowing the slang that people create from my generation. That's why I asked that.
That's a good question. We'll have to look that up. But before we do, Bogart.
Bogart? There's a guy named Xander Bogaerts that plays for the San Diego Padres.
That's what it's from. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Wow.
Exactly. Good job.
Thank you.
Very good. Yep, it means to be a player for the Padres. It was just something we threw around back in the 90s.
Former #1 prospect.
Do you have no idea what Bogart means?
No, I have absolutely no idea. I'm going to guess
I like
two.
that you attach it to a current baseball player and not the more famous Humphrey Bogart.
I don't even know who that, I don't know who that is.
Hey, more famous is relative.
True. Bogart.
Especially with Ethan.
Anybody take a shot?
It's like hogging or keeping it to yourself.
Yep. Hoarding it, hogging it, and taking more
passing
than
it.
your part.
I didn't know that.
Really? Wow. All right.
It's because I'm so much younger than you.
These are just getting harder then. What about tubular?
I do know that
If you
one.
were surfing a really good wave and you did a really wonderful job, at the end you might say,
Tubular. You know this one.
I know that one, yeah.
Okay, good. All right. What about gnarly?
Yes.
This one's tough.
Wait. What do you think that means?
Gnarly?
Yeah.
That was gnarly. That was rad. That was
Okay.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say,
I feel like I say gnarly still sometimes.
That is a common definition. But the way that the Gen X Bible says that it is,
Gen X Bible.
something like that, it says described as something difficult, depressing, or impressive.
Yeah, but that test was gnarly would mean that test was like kind of stupid difficult. I don't think that that's the slang way to say it.
Yeah.
I feel like
it's
slang
tough.
way is...
It can go both ways. That's what's tough about gnarly.
I think the slang is the way to say something's cool. I think the other way is what the word means.
Yeah.
Probably true. But using it even in normal conversation as something outside of a mangled tree branch is still part of the slang.
It's a gnarled branch.
I hear the
no,
word.
but isn't slang like when you use a word in a different
Yeah,
way?
but even using it as common speech, I think, is slang. Gnarly was not a word that was used a lot before the 90s.
I hear the word gnarly, and I think of a guy riding a motorcycle with a black vest on. It says gnarly.
It's
That's what
more
I
of
think
like a Jeep on the PCH and the doors are off and the wind is blowing, and the smell of sea salt is in the air.
I don't know if I'm going to easily be able to change the image out of my mind, but I will try for you, Annie
You will
Frey.
by the end of the show, Ethan.
I will try for you, Annie Frey.
Thank you.
If you say biker
Annie
one more
Frey
time
is
in
my
this
alter
show
ego.
instead of Jeep, you're going to get it.
Ryan's just going to think about naked every time I say biker.
When gnarly was a word that was being used in context, and you talk about bikers, I'm thinking of the bikers in Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure.
We all are.
I know you always are.
That's what all of America thinks of. How about grody?
What do you think?
The way I've always used grody is just a silly way to say gross.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it. You got it. Good job.
Hey, that's 3 in a row.
Grody is the first 5 letters of one of my lifelong best friends' last name.
Oh, yeah?
Poor kid.
Do people still use this one? Hella.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came back, and it was super annoying.
Did it? I never liked that
Maybe
one.
in the last 10 years.
Hella. So that one's common
You know who
still?
I feel like brought hella back?
Yes.
I think Macklemore brought hella back.
Well, I was going to say Gwen Stefani.
Well, that's even earlier, so maybe.
Oh, man.
Shots fired.
Gwen
No
Stefani
doubt.
was definitely Gen X.
No doubt is actually kind of one of them. No doubt.
Home skillet.
I don't know why, but that invokes an image of a bad haircut in my head.
Isn't that just like home slice?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, you
I'm
got
doing
it.
pretty good
You
at
are
this.
doing pretty good. This one's easy. We'll end on this one. Dweeb.
I literally, who did I call a dweeb yesterday?
So you know.
I called Chip Carey's 12-year-old son a dweeb the
Oh my
other
gosh.
yesterday. That's what
Wow.
I did.
Oh, no.
Name dropping.
No kidding. All right, keep it here. Larry Alex Taunton coming on the show. We're going to talk about conservatism, wokeism, and fascism. What is actually what? I love Larry Alex Taunton. Can't wait to have him on the show next. Don't go away.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Stewart's American Mortgage. He's the bagel loan guy. If you're seeking out an improved scenario for your current mortgage, meaning you want to do a refinance, Stewie is your guy. He's got the bagel loan, and the only way you can get a bagel loan is by contacting Stewie at 314-324-4440. Why the bagel loan? Well, it's a mortgage refinance that you can get, including a cash-out refinance on your current mortgage. And when you go through the process at the end, $0 in closing costs. Nothing. You don't owe it. Doesn't get rolled into the loan. He takes care of the closing costs for you. 314-324-4440. Also, if you are looking to shop for a new home and you're kind of sitting right there on the edge of your seat waiting for maybe rates to move or the right house to come on the market, it just hasn't happened yet, you want to make sure that you get the best mortgage for that new home. Get pre-approved with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan for more information. NMLS number 226715.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Getting a grip on Gaza. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu tells Fox after nearly 3 years of war with Hamas, the goal is to go in and take complete military control.
We want to have a security perimeter. We don't want to govern it. We don't want to be there as a governing body. We want to hand it over to Arab forces that will govern it properly without threatening us and giving Gazans a good life. That's not possible with Hamas.
There's reportedly pushback from his military leadership. Hamas says Netanyahu's plans to expand Gaza's offensive shows his aim is to sacrifice hostages to serve his personal interests. Russian President Vladimir Putin says he'd like to meet with President Trump next week. It's unclear a meeting will happen unless Putin agrees to also meet with Ukraine's president.
A Kremlin aide indicating a meeting has been agreed to in principle and would be President Trump's first sit-down with Russian President Putin since the start of his second administration. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the president is open to meeting with both Putin and Ukrainian President Zelensky, adding great progress was made after this week's meeting between Putin and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz in Washington. New tariffs on imports from most of America's trading partners take effect today.
Products from dozens of countries imported to the U.S. will now be hit by tariffs. More than 60 countries in the European Union are subject to rates of 10% or higher. The administration believes the tariffs will steer companies to step up investing and manufacturing in the U.S.
Fox's Jenny Gasola. Texas Senate Republican John Cornyn says the FBI has granted his request to help track down Texas State House Democrats who fled the state, many to Illinois, where Governor J.B. Pritzker says, why the FBI? They haven't broken any federal laws by leaving to prevent a vote on new congressional maps more favorable to Republicans. America's listening to Fox News.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The southerly flow is back, and so is our typical August feel. Sunny, hot, and humid going through the afternoon. We should peak out at about 92. Warm and humid, partly cloudy tonight. Upper 80s this evening, 73 for the low. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, sunny, hot, and humid each day, and each day peaking out at about 93. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show Live, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. If you need a new air conditioner installed this summer, call a company you can trust to install your AC properly. That will get your home cool and comfortable fast. For a free estimate on a new air conditioner, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
We don't want Charlie Kirk on our campus. We don't want fascists on our campus. We don't.
want to support that here.
What is fascism? Immigration.
I don't know. I'm not like a political scientist. I'm not good at interviews. You should ask someone else.
She says, this is on a college campus. They don't want Charlie Kirk there. Why? Because I don't want fascists. The obvious question is, what is a fascist? She's got like 2 blue fuzzy puffballs on her pigtails or whatever. She's got a drink in her hand. And her answer is, I'm not a political scientist. I don't know what we're actually accusing this woman of here, but these are the people who are leading the charge against the Charlie Kirks of the world because they use the big ol' F word, fascist. And I came across one of the episodes of Ideas Have Consequences. Larry Alex Taunton joins us right now. I really encourage you to go to YouTube, subscribe to his channel. You will love the culture discussion that takes place in the context of all the political stuff that we're following all the time. Larry, thank you so much for the time today. It's a pleasure to have you back.
Great to be with you, Annie.
That F word, that fascist word, it's been peddled against President Trump for the entirety of the time that he's been in the political eye. And what the left does the best is they grab a hold of vocabulary, they jumble it all up, and then they repurpose it to keep people like you quiet. And they just haven't been successful quite yet in keeping Larry Alex Taunton quiet. Tell me a little bit about this word fascism and why you are out there trying to make sure people understand what it actually means.
Yeah, thanks, Annie. The problem, I think, is that you're seeing a lot of terminology being used like woke right and alt-right and new right, and almost all of it is related to the right, which we associate or should associate with conservatism. But I keep saying to people that terms like alt-right, which is supposed to mean a type of fascism, that woke right, which is an oxymoron, that you can't go in opposite ideological directions and arrive at the same place, which is totalitarianism. So when I was a graduate student, studying history, also when I was an undergraduate, the way the political scientists liked to teach it, and that's because they were running really a psyop to protect the left, is they would say, oh, fascism is a product of the extreme right. Well, no, it isn't. It's socialism. It's a type of socialism. It's a bastard twin of Marxism, of communism. Both of them are on the left. So what I'm just simply trying to say to people is this, Annie, that left and right, put in the most simple terms, is the further you go to the left, the more extreme the government controls. And of course, you eventually arrive at totalitarianism. The further you go to the right, the less government controls, and you eventually arrive at anarchy. But the right as we know it, conservatism as we know it, is based in a Judeo-Christian worldview, specifically the Ten Commandments.
Yeah. I was listening to the episode this morning while I was getting ready to come into work, and you're talking about, and we can't possibly break it all down here, and I wouldn't want you to. I would want the listeners to go to Ideas Have Consequences on YouTube and watch it as a couple hours, maybe, the segment. But you're talking about conservatism kind of as a vocabulary word, but also how Christianity fits into that, because it certainly does. Culture does shape politics, and politics are downstream often from culture. But then you start talking about woke. And one thing that you said in this episode that made me kind of sit back, and it just kind of cleared the fog away from a lot of what we're seeing right now, especially with influencers. And remember, influencers overall, they want clicks and likes and reaction, is that the difference between woke and anti-woke and the conservative right. And it is conservative to be anti-woke, but anti-woke isn't inherently just conservative.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And that's really kind of what started me on this path, Annie, because I'm not trying to be the gatekeeper of what is and isn't conservative, but rather I am trying to say we need to have clarity about what we mean by conservative. And so the conservatives, specifically Christian conservatives, I get a little concerned when I see them latching onto personalities that they think are someone who shares their worldview. Elon Musk does not share a Christian worldview. He's transhumanist, he's atheistic, he's a guy who has a huge belief in artificial intelligence. He wants to live forever. But he's anti-woke. And so you see him saying things about, for instance, transgenderism and anarchy and, domestic terrorism. And you go, hey, that's my guy. That's my bro. We agree with each other. But as President Trump discovered, when you started getting down into the details, he realized, but he isn't. He's not a conservative. Andrew Tate is another. A lot of young conservative males. That the guy is a misogynist pig.
Yes,
he is not. He's a Muslim. There's nothing in his worldview that is Christian. But because he's anti-woke, and all Muslims are by definition anti-woke and anti-Semitic, he appeared to be a conservative for a while. And that the same is true with, say, individuals like Jordan Peterson and Candace Owens. And there are several others that fall into this camp. And I'm just saying to people, listen, the things you hear them say that you like, that resonate with your worldview, feel free to take them. Feel free to lean into those things. But don't just suddenly think everything this person says has got to be true.
Yes, so much so. Larry Alex Taunton with us right now, host of Ideas Have Consequences, a must subscribe to YouTube channel. I encourage you to check it out right now and watch the content. Lots of stuff. The breadth of what you cover from a global standpoint, but also cultural and faith-based. I appreciate it very much so. And I think, on this, we're, 7 months or so, 200 days out of the inauguration of President Trump back into his second term. Coming out of a campaign year, especially like the wild one that we just came out of, it's very easy to fall into these tribal red, blue, and it's like it's either red or it's blue. And if it's not red, it's blue. If it's not blue, it's red, whatever. When you highlight Christianity and faith, I appreciate that so much. I lean into it so much because all of that, as a Christian myself, and I talk about that on my, secular talk show here quite a bit. That's just part of who I am. I always have to remind myself that's the first part of who I am. And everything else has to come downstream. And to your point, when you see the Andrew Tates of the world, the Elon Musk, you might intersect on some individual things. Okay, high five, move on. But we have to be very quick to not give over of ourselves the principles that should precede all of the things that come politically.
Exactly. The enemy of your enemy is not necessarily your ideological friend, and they may have a very different agenda than the one that you believe in. And of course, I as a Christian, you as a Christian, there's a worldview, that comes out of that. Certain things that I believe in, and human freedom, human dignity are part of those things. And that's the lens I'm trying to look at the culture through. And ideas have consequences. That's what I'm trying to help people navigate the culture, to understand those kind of things. Listen, there's a small distinction here that I want to make that I think is important, because you've started by asking me what fascism is, and I didn't answer the question. Fascism, as I've said, is an expression of the extreme left, as totalitarianism. But the only difference between it and communism, Marxism, is this: that in Marxist thought, in communist, socialist thought, all the means of production are owned by the state. There's no private property. In fascism, there is private property, but only kind of sort of, because it's all controlled by the state. And it's usually directed for the purpose of war. And you may say, well, how is the American left fascist, given your definition? Because ESG and DEI, those are fascist controls on corporate America, designed to put all the reins of power into the hands of the left for warfare. Against who? Ukraine? No, against the American people. That's what it is. And Nazism, by the way, is just a subset of that. It's a type of fascism that is anti-Semitic. All fascists aren't necessarily anti-Semites, but all Nazis are.
Oh, man, it's so important to highlight who the enemy of fascism is, or ultimately communism. It is that when we hear President Trump say America first, and we start talking about populism and all that stuff, I think that a lot of people can latch on. They're like, okay, I like Trump. I like the Trump guy. I like the way he talks, or I don't like the way he talks. The consequences are steep. It's like everything that the Western world is established on, and actual true freedom lying with the American people. It seems as though the left, the Democrat Party, and whatever the driving force behind that is, or whoever the driving force behind that is right now, it seems as though they despise everything that America has ever been, everything that you could ever dream it could be, and they want to pull it back from the American people. How close is the Democrat Party today from having success in doing that?
Well, fortunately, with the most recent presidential election, as you point out, they're not nearly as close as they were. I believe, and I'm not the first to say this, you've probably said it on your show or had guests who did, that another, Biden, Obama, Kamala Harris kind of term might have been the end for America. But you just used a word there, Annie, that's another one that they want to redefine, and that's populism. Populism isn't inherently good or bad. It's just an uprising of common people. So the American Revolution was populist in nature. William Wallace led a populist rebellion. The French Revolution was populist and it was evil. So populism is just an uprising of the common people. And they want you to think that's fascist, that's Nazi, that's evil. And it's because, Annie, they're elitists. They are elitists. What we are seeing is a global war of elitists, people who think the rules just simply don't apply to them, and the common people around the world. I'm presently, speaking to you from the birthplace of Nazism. I'm in Berlin. I would have liked to have given you a better view of the city, but the light is such I don't think you'd have seen me. But, it's fascinating to me to see what's happening on this continent in South America, in North America, Central America. You're seeing the same thing, a populist uprising against elitists. And I sit with them every year, Annie, at Davos, at the World Economic Forum, and I just pretend to be one of them. And it's, it's astonishing the crap that comes out of their mouth. They are sure rules do not apply to them.
Yeah, they just live in a separate reality that they don't have to dip into, I guess, the ones with the little people like me and the folks listening here, what we actually experience on a day-to-day basis. Last question before we let you go. When we're speaking with Larry Alex Taunton, please consider finding Ideas Have Consequences on YouTube and watch it. You will be so glad that you did. I think about how those elitists, they do need the little people in order to get to where they're going. And it's such an obvious play that everything has to be based in emotions. They don't want people to think. They want people to feel, and they want to manufacture those feelings. And to the point of the whole purpose of your latest episode here, they redefine words to invoke very, very strong emotions, to take marginalized people or to marginalize people, to use them to gain more power. What is then result of where the left is going right now? Seems like there's a smaller group of them, but they're screaming even louder than they ever have before. Is this going to snuff itself out, or how does this end?
Well, that's a very good question, and I don't know if they're given odds in Vegas, but as it goes right now, I mean, Trump is winning, and his administration is winning. Don't pay attention to all the noise of all the nonsense about the Epstein files and all this kind of stuff that's the shiny object meant to distract you. Rather, pay attention to what's happening. I mean, his executive orders, the investigations they have underway, the economy, the tariffs. He's winning. He's absolutely winning. Now, in the long term, will he win? I don't know. It depends on whether or not the American people wake up and begin to believe in themselves, their God, their vision as a people once again. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. But Annie, you began the segment by saying that, Charlie Kirk was being, some campus, they didn't want him to come and speak, and they're calling him a fascist or a Nazi or some nonsense like that. This is where the left is now. They don't want to engage you in debate. Used to 20 years ago when I was speaking on college campuses, kids would line up to take me on. They might be angry. They may not make really good or even coherent arguments in some instances, but at least they were prepared. They believed that you had the right to come and speak and to share your views. Now they're all being taught, which is Saul Alinsky, Marxist tactics, to shut you down. And this is the stuff that's coming out in all these investigations, election rigging. These are people, Annie, who have total disregard for democracy. They do not believe in a will of the people. They believe in themselves. They believe in power. It's all about power.
Amen. Larry Alex Taunton, what a pleasure to have you, even from Berlin. Thank you for making the time. What time is it there right now in Berlin?
It is about 8:18 here, and I am going to go and get some dinner because I am starving.
Well, thank you. We're going to have lunch here in a little bit, and we appreciate your time. We'd love to have you back.
Always good to be with you, Annie. Take care.
You as well. Bye-bye. One of our first conversations that we had with Larry Alex Taunton was going into Christmas time, and he had written this post on X, and he was just talking about how important women are when it comes to Christmas. And I remember seeing that, and it was just such a sweet, sentimental post that he put up, and he was just appreciating his wife for the way that she decorates the home and makes a house a true home. And I think my recollection was that he recalled his mother doing the same, and just about how a woman has this ability to do something that if the task were put on him, it would not look the same. And he just appreciated for it. And I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And he came on the show to talk about that. And I've been following him ever since. And I encourage you so much so to do that. He's Larry Taunton on X. But seriously, go subscribe to his YouTube channel. You will be very glad. A lot of the stuff that we talk about here when it comes to culture and faith, I know that's not for everybody who listens to the show, but I know a lot of you do appreciate it. You tell me that when I meet you quite frequently. If you're in that camp, you're going to love Larry Taunton. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back. Ryan back in studio with us here. Are we speaking at 1:30?
Yes.
What's the 1:30 guest?
Jenny Schwartz, Corporal Jenny Schwartz. She's the public information officer at the Clayton Police Department. And she is going to talk to us about some fire bombings or car fires that were targeted at Jewish individuals in Clayton.
Death to IDF written on a Clayton street. This is a firstalert4.com, Channel 4's website. A fire damaged multiple cars. There is a lot of hate involved in this crime towards Jewish people. And it's an important story. It's a local story, and I want to highlight it. So we will speak with our guest at 1:30.
Corporal Jenny Schwartz.
All right. I'm looking forward to speaking and having that conversation and finding out what exactly took place in Clayton. Quick break. Back in a minute. RulerFoods.com. Can I explain to you the pleasure you're going to have when you go shopping at Ruler Foods for the first time? If you've gone already, you know. I don't really have to tell you, like, Ruler Foods has groceries for less, because if you've gone, you already know that. The name brands you love for less. They also carry great Kroger products, Kroger brands, at Ruler Foods prices. So if you're a Ruler Foods shopper already, you probably want to know that right now they have 18-ounce packs of blueberries, $2.99 each, or red and white seedless grapes for $1.88 a pound. Maybe you want to know that they have Kroger Grade A large eggs. You're going to get those for $1.99 a dozen. So, okay, if you've been to Ruler Foods, you're kind of looking for what's the reason to go there right now. Make sure I snag that deal while it lasts. If you haven't been to Ruler Foods yet, please consider just carving out 15 minutes. Go through and see what they have. And, go when you don't have to fill your whole cart up and just kind of take it in, no pressure. And let me know what your experience was. Because the first time I went into Ruler Foods, I couldn't believe when I went in how well organized it was, how clean it was, how nice the people were there, but how low the prices were. Go shop at Ruler Foods and let me know how it goes. RulerFoods.com.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more.
A family member or friend that gets paid weekly. This Medicaid program is available to eligible St. Louis residents.
New to Medicaid? The Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area,
this service is available through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid weekly. So go to freedomcare.com now, or for faster service, call 314-697-4912. 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Family-focused, faith-filled, always on point. It's the Annie Fry Show.
One Direction, emo.
One Direction is? I don't
Your
even know
definition,
anymore.
you basically just use emo as an insult.
Yeah.
You don't like it, you're like, that's emo.
And if it came from that rough time period, then yes.
What rough time period? You put
The
lit
mid-
and One Direction in the same category.
mid-2000s. When was lit? Late 90s?
I would think it
99?
would definitely be 90s.
Early 2000s.
I bet it was 99 or
Did you get to listen to Larry Taunton talking?
It was awesome. I listened to the whole thing.
Gosh, I don't make time for like long form audio or video stuff very often, but Larry's stuff is so good. And like I was saying, I know that there are folks out there, and you're secular, you don't have you're not attached to a faith or whatever, you're agnostic, whatever it might be. And if you listen to the show, you know that I do have a Christian faith. It's the most important part of who I am as a person. I try not to beat people over the head with it, but you can't understand anything about me without understanding that first. So, when I tell you that I'm a mother of 4, that's a part of me. And me being a Christian, that's a part of me. The way he talks to people who are Christians, but fully invested in the political world, which I think we have a right and responsibility to be. To me, it's a perspective shift that gets me right again, correct again, right focused again. Because what he was saying there, and he talks about this a lot in his YouTube episode, the most recent one where he's kind of talking about fascism, but he talks about there's this phrase being thrown about right now, the woke right. And I've never heard that said by people who are trying to benefit the conservative side of the aisle. It doesn't seem like something I don't know why we would be trying to make the voter base smaller, but the voter base shouldn't be our only focus when it comes to these issues. It shouldn't just be about votes. You should have principles. And then there are times where you're going to compromise on specific things. But he made the point specifically about Elon Musk, how there are intersections that Elon Musk has with the conservative platform, and the intersection really rests in anti-woke. And he makes the point in that episode that I was watching this morning that being anti-woke is conservative. If you're a conservative person, you're pretty much going to be anti-woke. But not everybody who is anti-woke also is only conservative. Conservatives are anti-woke, but all anti-woke are not conservatives.
Yes.
And I think that's really kind of what shook out to Larry Taunton's credit for pointing this out. It makes the Elon Musk thing make a whole lot more sense. And it also makes the Andrew Tate thing make a whole lot more sense. Now, a lot of you are listening and you have no idea who Andrew Tate is. Consider yourself fortunate. I think Andrew Tate is an abomination. And he basically, how would you describe him?
Super bro culture, which in some ways, like he was saying, in some ways you go, it's kind of refreshing. In other ways, you're like, no, this is not.
There's nothing
at
about
all.
Andrew Tate that I would consider to be refreshing.
Well, the sort of testosterone of
What
it
he's a
is something that I think is appealing. But there's nothing else to the ideology that he's.
You want to talk
preaching.
about toxically masculine?
He is.
I don't think that he brings anything to the table. Like, Andrew Tate is somebody who has been charged with. Has he been charged and convicted with sex trafficking?
I think he was charged, but that was in Romania.
Yeah, and then he was like extradited or something. There are allegations that have swirled around him. He very openly talks about how he can just go through women, and like the women who he has in his life are for his use, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's nothing,
and that all folds into his display of masculinity. You can't separate it. Now, if you want to be somebody who is sick and tired of the way that the progressive left has demonized men who want to be men, be providers, to be strong, to be, biblically the head of the household. If you want to bring that back, I don't think that Andrew Tate is a contributor to that mentality at all.
No, I don't either, but I also think that that's what his appeal is. So acknowledging that, and it's like the Elon Musk thing, although Andrew Tate has a lot less of it, where there's crossover, you can acknowledge, okay, this is non-woke. I like that it's non-woke, but I also don't really espouse really any of the views that this guy is saying. But we have to be smart enough. I think this is what your guest was saying, Larry Alex Taunton, that we can be smart enough to discern those things. We can be smart enough to listen to somebody that we don't completely agree with, but that there are elements of it and say, I like those elements, but I don't like the rest. And I think that we can do that.
What about what Elon Musk brings to the table do you disagree with?
Well, he definitely does not have a biblical worldview, so that would
You could talk about the
separate
way
us.
he treats women or uses women.
Yeah, it's different than Andrew Tate, but it's
Certainly.
definitely using. He does seem to believe that Elon Musk seems to believe that we are a little more godlike as humans.
Would you say he's libertarian? Does he call himself libertarian?
I don't know that he says libertarian, but he kind of is.
Like, in my mind, is the epitome of what libertarian is. Maybe somebody listening is like, Annie. You come yell at me on the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like the application of being repulsed by woke culture and the constant babysitting of everything you do, Ryan. It's going to be watched, and if you step out of line, we're going to cancel you so fast. Like, that there's some sort of obligation we have as a society to stay within boundaries that are set by whom? Whoever is in charge of whatever is woke at that given time. I mean, that's a First Amendment freedom libertarian perspective to take, certainly. But that's not policy on a whole host of other things. Let's talk more about it here in a little bit. I do want to take a quick break. Corporal Jenny Schwartz is going to be with us. I wanted to get an update on this story. Some of you may have heard of it, but if you haven't, you need to. There was an incident in Clayton, and here locally, of course, Fox 2 reported that a series of overnight car fires in Clayton neighborhood are now being investigated as a hate crime. We're going to speak with Corporal Jenny Schwartz, as a spokeswoman for the Clayton Police Department, to get the facts of what we know that happened and what they're looking into. Next on the Annie Fry Show. Don't go away. Home Shield Foundation Repairs.com. Please consider hiring Matt Hayes and his amazing team at Home Shield Foundation Repair to help you level out and make safe once again uneven concrete at your home. Also, at your business. If you're managing the office and you know that there is a concern that you have for the safety of the people, the customers, the clients, the people you service coming in and out of your business, because that concrete has caused a problem. It could cause a hazard for people who maybe have mobility issues. You can't have that uneven concrete being there and causing that sort of safety hazard. And it kind of isn't pretty to look at, of course. When you call 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636, Home Shield Foundation Repair, they're going to come out and they're going to check your situation out. They'll be able to provide you an explanation of polyjacking, this polyurethane foam. It goes under the concrete, goes up and levels it out nice, and they make it look nice and pretty. Way more cost effective than having to rip out that concrete and replace it, of course. Have them come out and tell you what they can do for you, and then you can make a choice whether you want to hire them or not. 314-227-9636, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service. You know your trees can't talk, but if they could, they'd be calling me. From trimming to treatments, we'll make your trees the healthiest and happiest on the block. Call us before your trees start giving you the silent treatment. Check us out at hansenstree.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Big news from President Trump today saying that he would like the Census Bureau to redo the census. Our question for you in the YouTube live chat poll is, should President Trump redo the census? There are a couple options and ways that this could happen, and that's where we're asking you to get involved and let us know what you think. You do so by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube. And then today's date will come up and you vote there. 1:35. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Consistently right.
It's a ritual.
97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Important story happening here locally. We've got a lot of reports on this situation that took place in Clayton, and I wanted to give an opportunity to our guest to talk about exactly what took place with some car fires that were set here in Clayton. Corporal Jenny Schwartz joins us now. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. You are the Clayton Police Public Information Officer. Corporal, thank you for your time today.
Thank you for speaking with us.
Of course. Just straight from your department there, can you tell us what took place? I guess it would have been the morning of August 5th in Clayton regarding some of these cars that were damaged and some of the details that went along with that.
Sure. So just after 3 a.m. on Tuesday morning, we responded to the 7500 block of Westmoreland, where we were immediately met with 3 vehicles that were fully engulfed in flames. Our fire department was also on the scene trying to extinguish those fires. And while the officers were on the scene investigating, they discovered that there were some anti-Semitic graffiti written in the roadway as well. What we can tell, and we're happy to say, is that no injuries were reported. No one was actually hurt because of this incident physically.
Okay, so at 3 a.m., there are cars completely engulfed in flames, and we here live in the city of St. Louis, or we work here in the city of St. Louis. That's not an unusual thing to see in as far as crime goes around here. One of the reasons why this story is getting more attention than others is because of what else was found along with these cars on fire. Channel 4 on FirstAlertFor.com reports that a Drone 4 captured video of the graffiti in which "Death to the IDF" was written amongst this fire that was set. What can you tell us about the nature of these crimes and why that type of anti-Semitic graffiti might have been included?
So I do want to go back first and mention that although vehicle fires may be a common occurrence, this is not just vandalism. This is an act of intimidation that was targeted toward one of our residents. And violent crime like this is not common in our community. We have a very low violent crime rate in the city of Clayton. So anytime we have a crime of this magnitude, it's certainly frightening and unsettling, not only for the victim, but for our community as a whole.
Certainly. And I've heard you say the word targeted, and that's in multiple reports that I have here from local news outlets that refer to this being targeted. I have reports that one of the people who were targeted here is actually a member of the IDF and has served recently here in the IDF. Is that an accurate statement?
So it's our responsibility to make sure that we're not going to compromise the investigation in any way, but it's also our priority to make sure that our victim and his family is safe and that their privacy is respected. So we will not be giving any identifying information about who the victim in this case is or the content of the message that was written, other than to say that it was targeted at the victim and it included anti-Semitic rhetoric.
Corporal, I understand. This is Ryan Wiggins, by the way. I understand you're not trying to give any personal details, but just regarding the case, were the cars themselves owned by particular individuals, or was that completely random?
So the vehicles that were damaged were associated with our victim and the family.
Corporal Jenny Schwartz speaking with us right now, the Clayton Police Public Information Officer, speaking on this issue taking place early Tuesday morning in Clayton. Multiple cars damaged, engulfed in flames, as we have heard here in this report with the corporal. You've used the words targeted. We know that there was some anti-Semitic graffiti that has been reported to have been there. If you don't want to give specific details to that, how does it shift the investigation, the result of the efforts that you're making right now, when you know that this type of targeted hate rhetoric was included in the car fires?
So as I said before, this is unusual, and it's certainly frightening. Because of the content of the message, it has garnered a lot more attention than, say, just a vehicle fire would. We are working with our partners with the FBI as well as the St. Louis Regional Bomb and Arson Unit to investigate all aspects of this incident.
Have there been anything else that you've seen in Clayton specifically? Any crimes, any sort of graffiti, tags, anything like that in context with this one story? Anything else recently in the last weeks, months that has garnered the same sort of hateful message?
We did have an incident involving graffiti at one of our elementary schools a few months ago. However, it was not targeted at a specific individual, and we did make an arrest in that incident.
Do you feel, Corporal, that do you feel as though you're going to be able to find the people who did this?
We are following every lead that comes in. We are confident that we will continue to work this and work with our partners to make sure that the individual or individuals responsible are held accountable.
Well, Corporal Jenny Schwartz, thank you for the time today. We appreciate it. We'd like to follow up with you as details do emerge and as the investigation does continue. We hope that you get to the bottom of this and the people are held fully accountable for their actions.
Thank you. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Corporal Jenny Schwartz, the Clayton Police Public Information Officer. We've got Channel 4's report up here. Sean Lodging wrote the article, but you can see there's our vehicles that were, as she said, when they came on scene, fully engulfed in flames, and on the ground, death to the IDF. This is specifically targeted. The reports that I have received from individuals suggest that the people who are involved in this are also involved in that. And that's in Clayton.
Yep.
If you heard this story and it was in Baltimore or something like that, you'd be like, gosh, that's terrible. But that's right here. It's good to see that Clayton, the Clayton Police Department is on it, and I hope that they are able to fully investigate and find everybody who is accountable. Do you feel like the Palestinian thing, you've seen those memes where people like they're flying a flag and then the issue changes overnight and then they like just put that flag away and then they bring out the next flag. There are a lot of divisions of our society, people on different sides of the issue, and one side of that issue determines to have a public advocacy about it, and people handle that, whatever. I can't really believe that we are at a place in time right now where we're experiencing, in our middle age, this type of anti-Semitism as provoked as it is right now. It's actually kind of like we grew up learning about Nazi Germany and World War II. And in my mind, and I know this is naive, and I speak to some of my Jewish friends, and I quickly understand how absolutely naive I am in it. But you felt like World War II, we won, solved that problem. stupidly naive.
Yeah, it is shocking to be now we're in our early 40s. I remember watching movies. We're all in our early 40s. I remember watching movies with people like Paul Rudd, just 10 years ago, making jokes about being Jewish and stuff. That now you watch it and you go, would that even happen? I don't think that we collectively,
because we're not far enough away from it now for it to be jokeable.
Right.
Yeah.
It used to be, it's funny because, Seinfeld made jokes about, the Jewish nature of their lives and stuff. And you're like, everybody kind of thought it was fun and got along. And now you do those jokes and you just watch. I mean, you just watch those things now and you just react differently because you're like, ooh.
Too many people are on the side of hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To have fun with it. And of course, the people who have fun with it have to be the Jerry Seinfelds of the world who are a part of the community. They have to be the ones who come out and say, we're going to have fun with this right now. We feel bold enough in this that we're going to have fun with it. And while that has ebbed and flowed over the course of time, it's just shocking to me. And it does deserve our attention here on the show, our attention in our community, to understand that this stuff is here. It's in our backyard, and it is not to be tolerated. Not at all. Before we take a break, there's a story we haven't got to. I'm just going to read the headline for you here because things just keep, as far as news and politics of the Trump administration, things just keep getting better and better. Fox News reports the FBI on Thursday is ousting at least 3 officials, including former acting director and an officer involved in the January 6 investigations. Former FBI acting director Brian Driscoll is among those being forced out of the Bureau. Sources similar with the matter told Fox News, along with Walter Giardina, a special agent, the Bureau who played a role in the investigation of Trump trade advisor Peter Navarro and Stephen Jensen. The acting director in charge of the Washington field office, Driscoll, for his part, served as acting director of the FBI to the confirmation of FBI Director Kash Patel. And Jensen played a key role in the January 6th investigation. Senior FBI officials told the agents in question that they need to leave by Friday with no specific reason given to them individually. Bye. That Fox News article put together by Brianne Deppich, David Spunt, and Jake Gibson. Get them out of there.
That stuff needs to be happening faster.
Yeah, get them out of there. It's funny that they get till Friday to leave. Collect your things. Here's your box. All right, let's take a quick break. YouTube live chat poll right now. Should President Trump redo the census? It's going to cost a lot of money. It's also going to take up some time. If you listen to Hans von Spakovsky at 12:15 on the show, he said it's doable and could be put into play with new maps drawn before the next presidential election. Should we do it? Yes, and count only citizens. Yes, and count everybody here with legal status. Or no, this is a waste of time. Go vote in the Anti-Fry YouTube channel. Back in a minute.
Will eventually be a memory of a time I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all.
AirComfortService.com. Man, they got financing opportunities for you. Your comfort zone is a phone call away. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. 0% financing is right around the corner for you. If you want to see if you qualify for 0% financing and get a free estimate on a new AC system or a whole HVAC system, you can go to aircomfortservice.com and you'll be able to find out there exactly how that works. When you have a full HVAC system installed, Air Comfort Service includes, along with that brand new, shiny new HVAC system, a free safety package, which includes a carbon monoxide detector, an HVAC surge protector, water shutoff safety, and a high-efficiency filter cabinet. Air Comfort Service is going to take care of you, and they offer these free estimates and 0% financing for up to 72 months to make getting a new AC or HVAC system affordable for you. They are looking out for you. You got to call them at 314-513-0091. AirComfortService.com.
Bold, unapologetic, unfiltered. The Mark Cox Morning Show is covering the issues that matter to you. From borders to school boards, Mark Cox is St. Louis conservative.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range. It's the Annie Fry Show.
You know, one of the things that Larry Taunton was talking about talking to us about in the top of the 1 o'clock hour was about, and this is so important. Jared says this all the time because he's a history teacher. He's like, the difference between socialism and communism is in communism, the government owns everything. You own nothing. That's something that you hear a lot of people talking about, the direction that the left wants to take government into the place where you will own nothing, and you will like it. Ron DeSantis here recently was this, gosh, when he talks like this, I'm like, this is the guy. I love this guy so much. But he makes so much sense. And I don't know why people aren't jumping onto this bandwagon faster if they haven't been. I haven't seen it. But when you're talking about the government owning things, or when he said fascism is like where, or socialism is like where you are allowed to own things, but it's so regulated by the government that do you really?
The folks here really deserve. And, you know, I look about people here. Every time I run into someone, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm a Florida resident now. Like people, when did you buy, where are you at? And they'll be like, oh, I'm in Santa Rosa Beach. When did you buy the property? Oh, I bought it in 2018. I'm like, you've made a lot of money off that property since then because the values have gone up. And while there's good for that because people that own it have more equity and have more wealth, you know, the reality is if they're going to come tell you your house is worth twice as much than what you purchased it and you got to pay higher taxes as a result, that's a negative of having rising property values. And it's an unrealized gain. You sell your house, it's one thing on a transaction for someone to say to tax, like a sales tax, but to say you're just enjoying property and all of a sudden the value, so you have to pony up. We don't really do that in anything else. I mean, you buy a stock, you hold it, and then you're taxed when you sell it. The stock doubles, they don't just tax you as you hold it. So unrealized gains is not the way you want to run a tax system, but our property tax system basically relies on these unrealized gains. So we're going to work hard to provide relief, but ultimately we can't, as elected leaders, deliver the relief without the voters approving it at the ballot box. And so just get ready. You're going to have an opportunity to do that.
God, I love this guy so much. I'm going to Florida, guys.
I know. When he talks about this, I'm like, whoa, baby, it's cold outside. Why don't you come inside and warm up, Mr. Ron DeSantis? Because I love you. I took that a little far, and I'll admit that.
I understand
but I
the
like
sentiment.
what he's saying. I like what he's saying about property taxes. I never would have thought about the unrealized gains. That's totally true.
It's exactly true. It's exactly what it is. You get to rent your property from the government for the rest of your life based on the value that you will never actually, if you live in that house for the rest of your life, you'll never actually enjoy.
Yeah.
Somebody will someday, but it ain't going to be you. But you're going to have to pay for it and rent it from the government for the entire time. Oh, why does J.B. Pritzker suck so much?
It's the only industry that we do that. You don't tax on unrealized gains.
Yet.
Well, thank you.
The Democrats were really,
They want to.
That was part of the package.
Yeah.
That the Democrats were putting out there trying to get through when Joe Biden was actively, with the Democrat majority, trying to move and shake. it's so true.
If you heard that and you didn't quite catch what he said, because I get it, if you're driving, catch what he's saying here. You should be paying property taxes, if at all, on the value of the house when you bought the house, not what the government has perceived it to be worth now, because no other industry is regulated that way. That is the only spot where you are taxed on unrealized gains.
I wonder if the taxes should be capped at some point as well. Like if you bought that house when you got married and you just lived in the same house the whole time, like I wonder if you shouldn't have to spend more than you paid for the house.
Well, there are tax caps for senior and primary residents.
I'm talking about
stuff,
I know, but I'm talking about over the course of your lifetime. That there should be some sort of factor that says that you can't, over the course of your lifetime, have to pay for the value, whatever you invested in your house originally. You shouldn't have to pay that 5 times over.
I mean, yeah, that you paid $100,000 for the house in 1997, and now you've paid $120,000 in taxes over the last 25 years,
and will continue till you die.
There should absolutely be a cap.
So the only way to invoke something like that, because Florida already doesn't have an income tax, is consumer taxes, I would assume.
Or we just shrink the size of government.
You still have to pay for it.
Yeah,
it doesn't
but
matter how small it is, but
well,
yeah.
Well, certainly, but I mean, you can shrink. Yes, obviously, but I mean, consumer taxes.
Mm-hmm.
You pay for what you consume.
I would love to find a way, and I'm not saying there is a way to do this, but if there is, Ron DeSantis will find it. A way to bring in revenue in some other way. Trump's trying it with tariffs at the federal level. I'm not saying you could do that in Florida. But if there's a way to offset this creatively where you don't have to add a new tax, like with a sales tax, but could somehow cap property taxes or get rid of them entirely, I would love to see the plan. Because DeSantis is talking about it, which means he's thinking about it.
The other thing, too, though, is when you are like a place like Florida where you've created something, granted, God made it beautiful and wonderful, but you've got an influx of people coming all the time. When you have a destination, when you create something where people want to come be, and you're doing a consumer tax, then you're using the tourism that exists there as a way to make it a more beautiful place to live there and to sustain it. You certainly have to cut back government, and I think that Ron DeSantis has done everything he can to make that a possibility. But gosh, are we breaking? No?
Yep. Not here, though.
Okay. Well, because of Herman Cain, honestly, because that was his plan was
Godfather Pizza.
If we do this, we can add a national sales tax. I'm just opposed to adding new taxes. And if we can avoid doing that.
Well, it would have to be a national sales tax.
No, for property taxes?
Property taxes, that's a state.
I know, I'm just saying, because
and
of him
local.
Pitching the idea of, well, if we do this, then we could do this. I've just never been in favor of let's add a new tax, because typically you add a new one and the old one, maybe it gets reformed, but it doesn't go away.
Every dollar that you make, from the time you make it, how many times it goes through getting taxed and taxed and taxed and taxed and
Forever.
taxed and taxed.
Property is the worst of them, too.
It is. Let's take a quick break. Annie, are you okay in the middle of the 2 o'clock hour? We'll be right back.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
List your home with the Dittamore Group, and you will be on your way to a successful real estate sale. The team at the Dittamore Group, Tammy Dittamore specifically, 618-531-4652. That's her direct line. 618-531-4652. You're going to want to get ahead of whatever these rates are about to do in the last quarter of the year. If they do end up coming down, you need to be prepared to go when the time is right. And the Dittamore Group is going to help guide you through that for sure. Tammy, Zach, Pat, Abby, and Tricia, these are amazing people. You're going to love working with them. They are very good at what they do. They work throughout the entire bi-state region. If you can hear me on the radio, they can help you buy and sell houses right there where you are. Their knowledge of the market is extensive. They understand school districts. They understand commutes. They understand the pluses and the minuses of different communities and neighborhoods you might want to live in. 618-531-4652. That's 618-531-4652. Hire the Dittamore Group for your real estate transaction. You'll be glad you did. TheDittamoreGroup.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
A temporary takeover. I'm Chris Foster. Fox News. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says, yes, the plan is to expand operations and take military control of all of Gaza. His security cabinet's meeting about it. Fox's Evan Brown.
He's making the case within political circles that it is a needed step to defeat Hamas terrorists.
We intend to, in order to assure our security, remove Hamas there.
Speaking exclusively to Fox News, Netanyahu says the goal, however, would not be to occupy or govern Gaza for the long term, just long enough to enact change.
And to pass it to civilian governance. That is not Hamas and not anyone advocating the destruction of Israel.
Hamas is still holding 50 hostages, some dead, some alive.
And there are concerns the military takeover would endanger their lives and more Palestinian civilians. There's been a census count every 10 years since 1790 through 2020. President Trump wants one now.
President Trump says he's instructed the Commerce Department to immediately begin work on a new census that he says is based on modern-day facts and figures and information gained from the 2024 election. On his Truth Social platform, the president also says people in the country illegally will not be counted in the census. The census required every 10 years is essential to determining how many congressional seats are apportioned to each state. The 14th Amendment says the whole number of persons in each state is counted, and excluding residents without legal status could trigger court challenges. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The Environmental Protection Agency says it's terminated a $7 billion Biden-era grant program intended to help pay for residential solar projects for more than 900,000 lower-income households. A helicopter hit a power line and crashed into a barge in the Mississippi River in Illinois this morning. The two people on board the helicopter died. Nobody was on the barge. Nobody else is hurt. America's listening to Fox News.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The southerly flow is back, and so is our typical August feel. Sunny, hot, and humid going through the afternoon. We should peak out at about 92. Warm and humid, partly cloudy tonight. Upper 80s this evening, 73 for the low. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, sunny, hot, and humid each day, and each day peaking out at about 93. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 56 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance and installation, and heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. AirComfortService.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Rain.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Good show for you so far today. If you haven't been able to hear some of the conversations we had earlier, specifically with Hans von Spakovsky on the census. President Trump came out and said, guess what, folks? We're redoing the census. And I was like fist pumping in the air in my bedroom. Super excited, just by myself. He says on True Social, I've instructed our Department of Commerce to immediately begin work on a new and highly accurate census based on modern-day facts and figures, and importantly, using the results and information gained from the presidential election of 2024. People who are in our country illegally will not be counted in the census. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Well said, Mr. President.
Yes, I think we all believe in our statesman at the highest office when we say that he is doing things that are for America.
I haven't heard from Ryan Shire Wigglesworth in a while.
I haven't either.
Is he okay?
No.
Was he okay?
No, he
Ever?
has severe laryngitis.
Yeah, no.
No, I don't.
No.
Whatever you were going to say, no.
No. It was the first 25% of the thought was funny. The other 75% was a disaster.
It was a good choice then.
Yes, thank you. Our YouTube poll for today, should President Trump redo the census? Yes, to count only citizens. Yes, to count anybody who has legal status, or no. Now, you understand that the census is there to help distribute representation in the House of Representatives in Congress. And there are thoughts among those who are kind of looking at the possibility of what this Trump administration could do regarding how we have divided up the districts in the House of Representatives, that over 40 seats could be on the line. If they were to implement some of the Supreme Court rulings that would have to come into play regarding voting, specifically Tom Fitton, who I hope we're still trying to get on, Brad.
Oh, yeah.
He has filed a lawsuit against Illinois because you can vote for they take 14 days of ballots or something like that in the state of Illinois. As I said, banner week for the state of Illinois in the headline news. They said it's not constitutional. You can't do that. They're suing. We'll find out what happens. There are other lawsuits that are being filed right now to try to solidify the fairness of our elections. You have census reform, but you don't need the census to be redone for Texas to be able to do what Texas is trying to do. They just need to have a quorum, which means Democrats have to show up to do their job. Are they just going to not come back?
I think they might. I think they might stay out of the state for the next 6 months.
However long it takes.
I think if they make it to January, that would be long enough for Texas not to be able to do it.
Imagine being a loved one of those people. And how does that okay, so the districts stay the same. Are the people who are in the districts of those who vacated their responsibility to show up and put up a fight in the state legislature, are they going to want? Are those constituents going to want those people to be back there? Some of them will be like, heck yeah, and others might be like, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, this is pretty dramatic because we don't know exactly how this will play out. And the other thing is, if they actually stay out of the state for that long, you could make a very, very strong legal argument that they do not live in their district because they've spent so much time out of state that they don't live in Texas anymore.
When you're selling a property that you own, don't you have to say you've lived in it for a certain amount of time in the last 2 years or something?
Like for representation or just in general?
No, I'm just saying, I think in order to... It's different, but when you are establishing that you're selling a home that was your home, not like an investment property, that you have to say this, you just have to check a box that says this was my home for X amount of time.
Yeah. You have to say it and usually prove it in some way.
And I feel like if you're representing other people who are living in that district, that the requirement to actually be there, especially in a state legislature. I get it. If you're in Washington, D.C. and you're representing people back home, you're going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the people who have a home in D.C. or around abouts D.C. and a home in their district. I don't know how you afford that, but I understand it. When I went to see Congressman Bost when I was in D.C. at the end of April, he showed me the room in his office that he sleeps in. His office is there. He's got a door that opens. It's got a bed there. It's got a TV on the end. It's like a dorm room.
It sounds kind of awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I was really struck when I was there about how consuming that role is. Like, it is what you do. If you've got other responsibilities and obligations in your life, those are going to come second. They have to. Because you're signing up to represent people. It's a very important role, and you can't part-time it. And, some people like Eric Schmidt, when I was speaking with Senator Schmidt in his office when I was in D.C., he talked about he goes home every weekend. If he doesn't, it's the exception to the rule. But he wants to be as much of a presence with his family as he possibly can, because if that interview is on YouTube, and I didn't like get super deep into policy conversations with him, but it's like, what's it like to be a senator and have your whole family at home? He still has kids at home that he's taking care of, and a family that he obviously would want to come back to, and he makes a priority to do it. Certainly with them being on recess right now, it's a little bit different of a situation, but it is a sacrifice. It is a commitment. It kind of makes me wonder the people who go there and just never leave it. Like, how do you juggle the rest of what you have? Like Mike Bost, he's got a big family, but they're grown and they're gone. It's just a challenge.
Yeah, even if you do go to Washington, D.C. and take up, I don't know about residence, but you just stay there for the vast majority of your time, that's literally what you're elected to do. I mean, if you're Mike Bost or whoever, if you're representing Southern Illinois, you were not represented to be in Southern Illinois. You were represented to go to Washington, D.C. on behalf of Southern Illinois. The Texas Democrats, it's completely different. They have left their state. Where they go vote is not out of state. Where they vote is in their state.
Yeah, they vacated all of their responsibility in what they're actually doing there. I'm going to put up this story here from ABC News. John Cornyn, everybody's favorite Texas Republican, said on Thursday that FBI Director Kash Patel has granted his request for the federal government to assist with locating Texas House Democrats who fled the state in protest of GOP-led redistricting efforts. This ABC News article by Brittany Shepard and Isabella Murray. Cornyn's letter requesting federal help with locating and investigating the state legislators was sent on Tuesday. This is what he said in a news release. I thank President Trump and Director Patel for supporting and swiftly acting on my call for the federal government to hold these supposed lawmakers accountable for fleeing Texas. We cannot allow these rogue legislators to avoid their constitutional responsibilities.
I can't believe I'm hearing that from John Cornyn. I mean, he's being pushed hard to the right by Ken Paxton. That's what I can assume.
The FBI declined to comment on the matter. Cornyn also joined the Mark Davis radio show on Thursday morning and expressed his gratitude for Patel's prompt response.
I really don't know how this happens. I mean, is the FBI going to go into St. Charles, Illinois?
In a Penske truck.
and throw these people in the paddy wagon and drive them back to Texas?
I hope they say paddy wagon.
Kicking and screaming? I have no clue what this looks like.
FBI and Texas Rangers with their cowboy hats?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
I really don't know how what
I hope
happens.
there are horses and lassos.
Me too. Because I think we in Illinois would all stop and watch. Oh, neat. Look at the horses.
Just throw the Midwest nice at them. I wish I knew any of the legislators' names, because I would say, hey, fill in the blank here. Come here. You got to see this.
Are they all riding on horses without saddles? Is that called bareback?
We don't see that in the Midwest. You guys got to come see this. This looks like some Texas-ish.
We'd have a festival. You guys,
no, we wouldn't. We would have a potluck.
The old horse potluck. We're going to get together, eat some food. I'll bring a casserole.
Some beans.
We're going to watch the horses, you guys.
What is, Brad, your potluck dish of choice to bring to the event?
Oh, Man, I'm
What do you guys
such a-
bring?
I'm such a bad cook. My wife brings like a buffalo chicken dip, though. So
For the
she-
record, when your wife brings it, you can say you bring it too.
Okay.
You have to represent the family.
We
that
bring
visits.
a buffalo chicken dip. Sometimes I will make chicken wings on my smoker, and that turns out pretty good.
Ethan has joined the chat. What potluck dish are you bringing to the cookout?
Are we allowed to? Someone already said a dip. So do we? I don't want to be the one that's throwing in a second dip, but is anyone anti-multiple dips here?
Here's the thing about it, though. At a potluck, especially if the bigger the potluck, you might just end up with all dips.
Mm-hmm.
You can't regulate because then you have to like thumb war wrestle over who gets to bring the dip.
Right.
Dips abound.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I believe in Doctor Strange and the multi-dip.
So you would.
Then I'm bringing.
What's the dip?
Oh man,
Also could be a segment on the Annie Fry Show.
I'm gonna bring my mom into this, and I'm gonna
Oh,
see.
now
if,
you bring your mom into this. Because you need somebody to make a dish. You're like, I'll go back to my mom, who I left for college and didn't even care. I didn't show her emotion.
those are words being put in my mouth.
They're not wrong.
Are you bringing your mom into the potluck conversation?
I am
Ethan
bringing my mom's refried bean dip to the potluck. She's gonna cook it
You're gonna
for
make her
the
cook it?
people. She would gladly cook it.
No, she cooks it for her and the freaking AD.
No, she literally cooks it for me.
No.
She knows
That's
that it
right.
is my heart.
But she cooks it for you, but you still got to bring your own thing.
That doesn't become my thing because I'm bringing it.
Are you bringing it or
yeah.
is she bringing it?
No. She's making it for me to bring.
No! You have a wife. You can't go to...
She's not there yet. She's got work to do. She got work to do.
You're in trouble. You're in double trouble. Triple trouble.
She's got
with me.
work to do?
Yeah!
I cook my
Like
dinner.
she's not in the phase of life where she thinks I need to bring something to
no,
a potluck.
She
Oh, boy.
just
I
is-
think he just said she
has-
can't.
She has some work to do in her cooking abilities.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, okay.
She is phenomenal at pasta. Outside of that, she's got nothing in the repertoire.
Chicken boiled pasta.
I cook my dinner. I
you're a big boy. We're all proud of you.
I meal prep all my food.
Have a cookie.
Listen, but here's what
Does she eat?
Only pasta?
I'm on the pasta
she
diet.
is very picky. So she
I
eats
respect that.
Chicken nuggets,
depending on the night.
hot dogs, pasta.
Scrambled eggs.
Saucy nugs.
Pre-sauced?
This segment
terrible.
really
You saw
fell
some
off
together.
very quickly.
For the record,
I'm bringing
you were in the you had the
refried
steering
bean
wheel
dip. Refried bean dip.
that you ask your mommy to make for you.
Yes.
Do you
I have
play
no
it off?
shame.
Do you play it off like, yeah, I brought that bean dip?
No, I'm not afraid to say my mom made it.
Clearly,
I have no shame.
that's one thing we can all agree on.
I have no shame.
Let's turn it over to Ethan. He can actually drive the next segment because it is time for Ethan Sports and Local next here on the Annie Fry Show. Don't go away.
For me, it happens all the time. It's 1:15. I'm all alone and I need you now. Said I wouldn't call, but I lost all control and I need you now. And I don't know how I can do without. I just need you now.
STS-armory.com. I love going to STS Armory, seeing the inventory they have in stock, but also knowing that if you go into STS Armory and you're looking for something particular and they don't have it, they'll help you get it. They understand the navigation with the Second Amendment in the state of Illinois. It's an important thing to have people. And Katie and Jesse and the staff, the team at STS Armory, they're your people. I hope you'll go introduce yourself, get to know them a little bit, and talk to them about whatever your needs are when it comes to getting a new firearm, if you're looking to get a new shotgun for hunting season, maybe you were looking for ammunition, accessories as well, holsters. They have a great selection of holsters also for you at STS Armory in Pontoon Beach, Illinois. at their brand new building. And if you're looking for those classes that you need to take, whether you want to get your conceal and carry class for the first time, renew it, maybe you were looking for basics, the basics that you need to know about owning and operating and storing a firearm. Even for kids, they have firearm safety and education as well. 618-931-GUNS, online at sts-armory.com.
If it's time for new windows, there's only one place to call. That is Window World. Mark Cox here. Call my friends at Window World at 314-993-1800 for your free estimate today. If you have any questions, they'll be glad to send someone out to explain all of it to you. You can even schedule right online at windowworldstl.com. You know, there's a lot of high-interest financing out there, but here's what Window World's doing. Right now, they're offering 18 up to 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. You can't beat that. You also get a lifetime warranty that covers all of the parts, the glass breakage, and labor. Who else stands behind their product like that? Over half the appointments Window World will set this year are from previous customers or referrals from those customers. That is a testimony to their customer service, their quality, and their commitment to creating loyal customers. That's what you get with Window World. Call them at 314-993-1800, windowworldstl.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ziprecruiter.com/free.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Oxytocin making it all okay. When I come back down, it doesn't feel the same. Now I'm sitting around waiting for the world to end all day. 'Cause I could hold up.
Check it out. Sports and local.
News with Short John Silver.
Instead of long.
Yeah, I get it. Thank you for the...
How recently was that made?
Last week.
It was made last week. Okay, I didn't know if it had, John had anything to do with Johnson from yesterday.
Oh, no.
Nothing.
No. Short, no. Boy, that would have been
Ethan?
3D chess.
Really impressive.
Are you taller than Ryan Wiggins?
Oh, absolutely.
According to our voice guy, you're not. That's
even,
weird.
It's not even.
That is
close.
really weird.
Yeah,
I
little
just-
Donnie, short John, Silver.
I didn't know how tall you were, but I was pretty sure you towered over 5'5". So
Yeah, I'm definitely.
You do tower
over
over 5'5", but so do
definitely
I. So we have that in common.
Do you tower over?
whatever you need
6
to tell
foot, though?
yourself, Ryan.
I do not.
Hardly
gotcha.
say 5'6" is towering over 5'5".
I wouldn't say that either.
With his shoes on.
And yet I am more than all of those things in many ways.
Listen, I saw this story, and you guys have probably heard about this at least to a certain extent, but I figured it had to get brought up at some point because you all are theme park people, right? Am I wrong there? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
I'm hearing no objections.
You're very rarely right, but you are right.
Thank you, Ryan. The Union Station is adding a couple of new carnival-themed rides here at the end of the month. So I'm just going to kind of take you through some of the different things that they're adding. And while it may not be to the level of, Cedar Point or Disney World like you guys are used to, it is kind of cool to see in the heart of St. Louis them adding rides and amusement. So a couple of different rides going to be opening up on Labor Day weekend, the first day being August 28th.
This Labor Day weekend?
Yeah.
That's like a couple weeks away.
I know.
Yeah.
August 28th. There's a bunch of different themes. Pirates, 1904 World's Fair.
I think they have a preview night that I might be taking my kids to, and I'm kind of excited about this.
I want to go
Well,
with you and your kids.
I don't know if you meet the height requirement. Ethan?
I do for the wheel. I've been on that. Been on that wheel.
I have to strap him in the special seat. Go on.
Because I jump around too much. I can tell this guy's a jumper.
Couple of different.
Strap him down.
Like, wee, the wheel. Yay, I can't wait. It's going to be so fun. I'm going to be so high. You can see everything.
He goes in his own little cart. Just like
Put that guy in the separate
Put the
car.
chest strap on.
Wee.
Like that pig in that insurance commercial.
A couple of different rides. The first one being called the Flying Louie, 42-seat. The 42-seater, shows off views of the city between its dips and rises, with Union Station representatives saying it's destined to excite guests. Here's the problem: you have to be 48 inches tall to ride.
Oh,
so Ryan,
no, that's so sad.
48 inches.
Gosh.
That's not even like the max of the kids ones.
Maybe next year, Ryan.
Locomotion reaches a height of 22 feet. Train-themed locomotion provides gentle twists and turns that it says will thrill guests. The one that is showing currently on the stream is the Wave Swinger, and it is themed from the 1904 World's Fair. The classic swing ride spins 25 feet above the earth, it says, in an exhilarating frenzy.
Pineapple themed.
Did you say pineapple themed?
Mm-hmm.
There's also going to be numerous carnival games as well while they're sampling the new ride. So kind of exciting to see Union Station. You look at just the great direction that it has gone in here over the past couple of years, and it continues to add to it.
Fox 2 Now's got a lot of the stuff up there that you can peruse if you want to see it and
It looked like there
give
was
it a look.
There is a roller coaster.
Yeah,
It's a
that's the first
spinning
one he said.
coaster. Okay.
Yeah, the Flying Louie. The Flying Louie.
If you're
is what
looking
they're called.
if you're looking for a place to go for the evening and you want to do dinner and you want to do something fun and exciting, the aquarium there is very cool. It's really fun. I worked at Union Station from 2009 till 2018, almost 10 years. I was going down to Union Station every day for work. And oh my gosh, what they've pulled that out from the ashes, it is so impressive to go down there. There's a Build-A-Bear down there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
It's
really?
World headquarters of Build-A-Bear.
What the heck?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was here.
Super great date material if you need to make up with your wife for saying that she sucks at cooking.
Actually, it's where I went on my first date with my wife.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Was it before they redid everything?
Was it open?
Yes, it was open.
This used to be
We
Union
did the
Station.
wheel, and we went to the fountain, and we had one of those big old fancy shakes.
Let me tell you about the history of Harry Truman.
So stupid.
Okay, switching to some more sad news here that's happened today in the Metro East area. 2 people have been pronounced dead after a helicopter crashed into a barge on the Mississippi River near the Melvin Price Lock and Dam, which is right by Maple Island, right there in Alton, Illinois. Apparently, it got the helicopter, I guess, tripped up on some line and lost control. And you could see up on the stream there has been some visual landed on the barge. Fortunately, nobody that was on the barge was harmed, no one injured, but unfortunately 2 people pronounced dead that were operating the helicopter, according to the National Transportation Safety Board. Happened at 11:05. The barge did catch on fire. I'm no information as to if the fire has been put out yet. The river has been shut down as of, about an hour and 15 minutes ago. There was also a power line that fell into the water with the helicopter colliding into it. So very sad news in the Metro East area.
I don't know if you guys have ever been to the Lock and Dam. It's a pretty amazing Army Corps of Engineers, project that they
went one time in school for a field trip, but I don't think I've been since I was a child.
My friend's dad volunteered there for a long time, and so we went up there when I was just probably 5-10 years ago. But the amount of barges that go through there is pretty remarkable. Still, though, for that helicopter to have crashed and hit a barge is amazing, because you'd think the chances are likely 90% that they're just going to hit the water, that they still hit a barge.
I wonder if there was an attempt to land it, though.
That's the only thing I could come up with, is that they were trying to get onto something.
I'm thinking of a helicopter spinning out of control and how difficult it would be to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very sad. 2 people lost their life in that. Do you have another story? Or is that it?
Yeah, I could go ahead and do one more. Finish on a little bit of a bright. Well, I guess you could argue it's a brighter note. I think I talked a couple of weeks ago about how I tend to skip over a lot of the violent crime stories that you see on local news, whether it be murder or robbery.
Mm-hmm.
This one turning in a better direction, right, where victims of a robbery were able to fight back. A victim shot 2 suspects during an armed robbery Tuesday evening at a South St. Louis park. Police say the victim exchanged gunfire with the suspects, was also wounded. This happened around 5:30 on Tuesday at Amberg Park, located in the Dutchtown neighborhood. According to the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department crime summary report, the victim was sitting in the park when 2 armed suspects approached him and demanded his backpack at gunpoint. After handing over the backpack, the victim quickly drew his own firearm and exchanged shots with the suspect. So, like I said, it's a better story in the sense of, someone was able to fight back for themselves, but in reality, it still is it's an unfortunate, sad story.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for the local and sports news. Do we have sports today? Local.
No sports. Cardinals won a series against the Dodgers.
I saw it was MLB on Fox news. Or something like that. They won the series?
Won the series.
I saw
2 great wins.
The post, I think it was MLB on Fox. It was the post game from last night. And I didn't watch the game at all. And the post from them was like, the Dodgers won the game, but the Cardinals won 5-3.
It was MLB Network. It was Greg Amsinger, who's a St. Louis native, actually. Yes. And his argument was because Shohei Ohtani pitched so well as he's continuing to work back from
injury. Through 4 innings.
Through 4 innings as he continues to vamp back up. They found that they got that ace quality pitcher back that they haven't seen in a long time because he's been injured.
Yeah.
So,
and if you're looking long term, one game against the Cardinals versus what Shohei Ohtani on the mound does for the Dodgers, that's a win.
A lot of people are kind of giving him heat, like that's such a stupid thing to say. It's a very accurate thing to say. It is. It's a win for the Dodgers.
With the Ethan Hannaford endorsement. All right, let's take a quick break. Annie, are you okay with Tricia in studio? Next.
You turn around and cut on my brains. I ain't trying to fight fate.
HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Please consider calling Matt Hayes out to the job site. That job site might just simply be your driveway. And the concrete that has split and separated and now is super unlevel, it's a danger, it's a hazard. This is a really quick fix. This is something that they can fix in less than a day. And when they come to your home and they assess whatever your problem area is, they're going to tell you, this is how we fix it, this is how long it's going to take, this is what it's going to cost, this is when we can get to it. You're going to know all that information before you have to say, sure, all right, let's go, let's do it. It starts with a phone call to Home Shield Foundation Repair at 314-227-9636. 314-227-9636. Call Home Shield Foundation Repair and give them the opportunity to come out, check out what you got going on, and earn your business. Matt Hayes and his crew, they're the best in the business, and making sure that that concrete is leveled out in a cost-effective way. They use polyjacking with a polyurethane foam injected under the concrete, raising it up and giving you a 5-year warranty on top of it. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
College football summer is no time to slouch because we are taking you to school on the Cover 3 podcast, part of the CBS Sports Podcast Network. It's time for our annual summer school series as we take time to break down some of your favorite teams with experts and insiders who know these depth charts from top to bottom. But summer school is just extra credit as we go through positional drafts, player rankings, and more. Follow and listen to the Cover 3 podcast on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Refresh, restore, and protect your employees and customers. Call Zero Res today to clean your business the right way so your floors and surfaces stay cleaner, longer, without the harmful chemicals the other guys use. Call 314-474-2020.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid residents in need of care at home. If you need assistance with daily activities, you can receive in-home care from a loved one that lives with you and they get paid. Through Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care at home in St. Louis, and they get paid weekly. Available to eligible Medicaid members in St. Louis. Call now to check your eligibility. It can be your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid. Freedom Care has over 7,000 five-star Google reviews and is a leading choice in St. Louis for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want to receive great care from a loved one, go to freedomcare.com or for faster service, call 314-597-1749. 314-597-1749. That's 314-597-1749.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon with news for listeners who, like me, want to learn more about Bitcoin. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club is coming to St. Louis later this summer. The Bitcoin Ben Crypto Clubs teach members what Bitcoin is, how to buy it, how to safely store it, and how to avoid scams. And we'll connect with others like us who want to learn more about crypto. St. Louis will be the 7th club nationwide and Ben's hometown. If you want to know more about Bitcoin, you need to know Bitcoin Ben. Learn more at bitcoinben.io. That's bitcoinben.io.
The YouTube live chat poll today is, should President Trump redo the census? This is a big topic of the day. We are asking you to weigh in on what you think should happen, really the way that it should happen, or if you don't believe it should happen at all, let us know. That's the YouTube live chat poll today. You find it by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube and voting there. We'll give you the results shortly. It is 2:36. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Freedom has a frequency. 97.1 FM Talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
St. Louis Conservative.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
Hi, Tricia. Hi, Annie and crew. It's Thursday. Woo! Officially now. I've said this before, but this is when my weekend starts.
Here we go.
Take it away.
Let's kick it off. Man faces charges after allegedly pooping in a pizza box.
Oh, my God.
That's not illegal, is it?
Why do you want to know?
It's a misdemeanor. A Pennsylvania man is facing charges after allegedly pooping in a pizza box and trying to return it to a local restaurant.
That's where he messed up.
We needed the whole story.
A restaurant employee testified he was working when the 37-year-old man entered the restaurant and placed a pizza box on the counter, claiming he was given the wrong order.
I didn't order this.
The employee opened the box and found pizza slices covered by human feces.
Oh, no.
The man is charged with misdemeanors of open lewdness and disorderly conduct.
Oh, he ruined the pizza in the process.
Annie, are you okay with sending food back?
No.
Only if it's done that way.
If there's poop involved.
Like if you're in a sit-down restaurant.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
It's not the rule. I think that you can send food back, but you gotta kind of assess the situation. You gotta understand the server, if the server is gonna be nice about it.
Like, how messed up does the food have to be? You get the complete wrong order. Do you send it back?
I will eat I only really would get steak from a steakhouse. I wouldn't, but I don't want it rare. I have moved into the place where I can order my steak medium, mostly because my husband would shame me otherwise. But if it comes out and I feel uncomfortable about it, I just look at Jared and I like put the fork on top and squeeze it, and he'll go, "It's fine," or "You should send that back." But I think a steakhouse should want to get that right. I think that's kind of an acceptable question.
You don't like it rare, is what you're saying? If there's too much juice,
yeah.
You send it back if there's too much of the juice?
Too red, too pink.
Okay.
Too red. A little pink's fine.
Excuse me.
Stop it. But, man, if you just don't really like something, if the server asks you, like, if they notice that you haven't really eaten your food and they ask you, like, "Is everything okay?" I might say, "Yeah, this isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be." I could think of a time where maybe I did that. And they're like, "Oh, let me get you something else. What else do you want? We'll just put it in." And it's usually like in an Applebee's when they're not busy and the waitress wants a good tip. If there's any sort of attitude coming from the server or the management or anything like that, that food's not going back. I'd rather be hungry. What about you, Ryan?
If I would say in the circumstance that Tricia presented, I would probably send it back.
With the poop?
Yeah. Excuse me, ma'am. This
That
pork
being
tenderloin
said,
seems to have been defecated on.
Gross. Do you send food back? I bet you do. I bet you're a real diva.
Not much. I just care about people too much.
Stop it.
And their lives and their time.
Especially Ron DeSantis.
Ryan, you're kind of a baby.
It's not true.
When you're not.
It's not
satisfied.
true. I am particular about things.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that I inconvenience others around me. Now, if there's human feces on it.
Nobody's talking about it in that context.
Tricia was at the very beginning.
Yeah, I know, but that wasn't the question. Ethan and Brad, are you sending food back?
I've sent food back, but it's usually like, I didn't order this. This isn't actually what I ordered.
If it's cold, I'll send it back. I'm not eating cold food. Outside of that, it would have to be like pretty extreme for me to send it back, probably.
Yeah. And if you send it back and the server gives you an attitude about it, it's like, I'm not eating that.
No, it's coming back with poop.
Yeah.
It depends on where you are, though.
You worked at Applebee's for a long time.
I did.
What'd you think about people? Did it depend on how they sent it back?
Mm-hmm.
How often did you defecate on it?
It depended on how often they were sending it back. Was it the same people sending it back over
If it was
and over?
the third time I tried.
Time, it's like, man.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thousands of hot dogs spill across busy highway. This is also out of Pennsylvania. A mechanical problem caused a tractor trailer to scrape along a concrete divider, scattering hot dogs across the highway. In a statement that I'm not sure needed to be made, the local fire chief said, "Once those leave the truck and hit the road, it's all garbage."
Well, yeah.
A front end loader was used to scoop up the dogs and drop them into a dump truck. Annie, are you okay with hot dogs?
Ketchup, American cheese out of the wrapper in the microwave. Ketchup after you take it out of the microwave. That's how you eat a hot dog. On some bunny bread, white bunny bread.
What?
No, you lost me on that.
I didn't
Not
invite
on
you.
bread.
You weren't
Not
with
on
me.
bread. Yes, you did.
We weren't here in this space together at all.
It was trending in the wrong direction, and then it just got awful when you
Fresh
threw in the
white
bunny bread.
slice of bunny bread.
Dear God.
Hot dog that's been microwaved. If it's refrigerated for 45 seconds, you put the American cheese on the bread, put that dog in there, and some ketchup in. That is how you eat it.
You ever done barbecue?
Please enlighten
I
us.
haven't. Could you tell us what that is?
Oh, yeah. So you put a bunch of hot dogs in foil, and then you put it next to your engine,
Yeah,
that would be a Brad word.
All the time.
And then you drive somewhere, and by the time you get there, your hot dogs have been cooked.
Ah, barbecue. I get it.
Barbecue.
Wow.
Carbon poisoning.
I don't know if that's
Engines
true.
often associated with Brad.
It's a Brad word. Engine.
What's the best way to eat a hot dog? You're making it for yourself at home. There's no like presentation. It's just I need to eat a hot dog quickly on my way to go to the next thing. How are you making that hot dog?
I'm warming it up in the microwave, definitely not boiling it because that's gross. And then I'm just cutting it up and eating it in ketchup or barbecue sauce.
You're cutting
No
it
bun.
up?
No bun.
Wow. Son,
he's not a child.
He's
Yeah.
throwing shade.
You're cutting it up?
Yeah, with a knife and fork. And then I'm putting a little napkin on too.
Do you really cut it up into bites?
Yes, I do.
You have a monocle on as well?
Maybe, if I need to see it with one eye.
No, he has a bib on. And his little high chair. So in case he makes a mess.
Hey, I can't wait to get on the St. Louis wheel. This is going to be so fun. I can see the whole city from here. Can you guys cut up some hot dogs for me?
Not too big so he doesn't choke. How do you make your hot dog, Ethan? How does your wife make your hot dog?
Well, this is pretty simple. You start a fire, and then you roast it up.
Pretty simple.
If you're in a hurry and you're going A to B, how do you cook a hot dog?
You start a fire,
Rubs
and
two
you roast
sticks
it up.
together.
Get your 2 sticks.
My mom always boiled them growing up.
Mom, huh?
And I don't think I've had a hot dog since I don't think I've made my own hot dog since I have moved out of my
Are you
house.
opposed to boiled hot dogs? Ryan was
No.
pretty offensive
I'm
there towards
against
your
it.
mom.
No, I'm
But
just
I don't make producer money either. Apparently, this guy never eats a hot dog.
I don't think any of you do.
You can tell because
Hot
he has to
dogs?
make a fire
No,
to cook his
thank you.
food.
Rather go down to the pub, have myself some
What was the question? I like hot dogs.
fish and chips.
Yeah. How you feel about hot dogs?
Ketchup. Add it.
All right, and finally, speaking of babies, stressed out adults are turning to adult pacifiers. Thousands of young adults in China are self-soothing with binkies.
Oh, gosh.
In
Price-
public or okay, all right.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
It's a kink.
Priced anywhere from
What are you talking about?
You can get some of these binkies anywhere from $1.40 to $70, and they're being sold as sleep aids, stress relievers, and even smoking cessation tools.
Are they that different than just a binky? Like a baby's
They're
binky?
they're the exact same. They're just bigger.
But you...
Big bings.
Made by the company Bink Kink. Annie, are you okay with Bink Kink?
Chinese dentist weighed in, cautioning that prolonged use can impact your bite, strain your jaw, and even disrupt
Yeah,
sleep.
that's the reason why you shouldn't do it right there.
Annie, are you okay with adult pacifiers?
No.
Used to
No,
be.
false. I am okay with them because it would be the quickest way to know
No what?
everything that you need to know.
Yeah.
Just think if you could go out into the world and you just see some people, some grown adults with pacifiers, you immediately know what to do.
You know?
$70.
Take your time and
Yeah.
think
What
about
do
it
you-
before you
There
say
are some
anything.
very nice
know,
binks on the market.
If I need to get to sleep, I may not be entirely against it.
Did you, does your do we talk about your son's name on the air? I almost said
His
it.
name's Bernie.
I didn't want to
Yeah.
out your son and make him a public figure. Did you guys use a pacifier?
Yeah, still do.
What do you call it?
A binky.
A binky?
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys have binkies in your house?
Bubbies.
Bubbies? Bubbies
Never
and
heard that one.
sissies.
No, both of them call them bubbies.
I bet you could get some $70 binkies at Bubbies and Sissies.
What is bubby? Is that a store?
Kind of.
We always got ours at Harry and David.
Google
just order
Bubbies and
ours.
Sissies.
Okay.
We just order ours on Amazon.
Does anybody else in here know what Bubbies and Sissies is?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Nope. Thought it was made up for the bit.
Now
Me too.
now I wonder. People are wondering why I know what
I
Bubbies.
was trying to
and
play
Sissies is.
along. I was like, hey, bubbies and sissies,
No,
that
you
sounds
weren't.
like something fun and
You
funny.
said, "What is that?"
I was trying. I was trying to find the groove there and help the joke, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah. Okay, we're done.
That's it. That's all I have.
It's the weirdest segment we do. I don't understand what's happening ever. Bubbies and Sissies, look it up. We won't be having a remote there. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, the results of today's YouTube live chat poll. Should President Trump redo the census? He put on True Social today that he's directed the Department of Commerce to get on it and get it done. What do you think about it? Go vote in the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We'll be back in a minute. Don't go away.
drive us wild, we'll drive you crazy. You keep on shouting, you keep on shouting.
So at the Diamond Shop in Clayton right now, they have a red tag clearance sale going on, up to 70% off all these red tag clearance items, including 50% off estate pieces. This is a kind of an exciting thing to go partake in if you are a lover of estate jewelry. It's something that I know people personally who love to go to estate sales, and they go right to the jewelry cases to see what they have there. This is a great opportunity to save and see some really unique pieces. But of course, anytime you go into the Diamond Shop, you're going to be surrounded by beautiful, sparkling pieces of jewelry to mark special occasions or to just treat yourself. And right now, with a red tag clearance sale of up to 70% off, this is a great time to go in and see what they have there. You can become a VIP online at thediamondshop.net. Scroll to the bottom of the page, fill out that form, and you become a VIP. You're going to save an extra 10% off all red tag clearance items. In Clayton, go shop, go tell the wonderful people there hi from the Annie Fry Show, and be treated like the way you should be, with respect, with dignity. They're going to ask you what you're looking for and pair you with something really wonderful. Thediamondshop.net.
From border security to school choice, the Constitution to the culture war. Made in America. Heard in the Midwest. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. A question I get all the time is, how did we become the largest injury firm in the world? We have over 1,000 lawyers in all 50 states and close to 6,000 coworkers. Our call center is on duty 24/7. You can reach us at any time at forthepeople.com. But the real reason is we won. A lot. When you visit our website, go to our verdicts and settlements. There you will see what our clients were offered and what they were awarded at trial. All those verdicts help us resolve many cases fairly and early. You see, nothing beats reputation. The insurance industry knows who we are. We even have insurance adjusters call us for representation because they know too. We've made it easy. On your mobile device or computer, go to forthepeople.com and we will get busy. It's that easy. Call today. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands, or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
Smart talk, strong values. This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. It's always a pleasure to be able to spend some of this time with you and most of the people in this room at the same time. It's great. It's just wonderful.
Most. I include myself in the most. Thank you.
I don't.
You don't include you, or you don't include him?
He doesn't include himself. I can speak for him.
Yes.
I told you that he was not going to include himself in the friendship.
What are you talking about?
The YouTube live chat poll: should President Trump redo the census? Yes to count only citizens. Yes to count all with legal status, or no. We're gonna get to the results with Ethan here in a minute. What's your answer, Brian?
I could really go either way on the yes to count with legal status or yes to count only citizens. I'm going to say only citizens, though, just because I think that if we did legal status, that could still be abused in some way. Mm-hmm. So I will say yes to count only citizens, but I would really like to see, I really am a yes to this for sure, a no-brainer that President Trump should redo the census because it was done so badly, openly admitted that it was bad. The Census Bureau knows that they screwed it up in 2021, and it needs to be redone.
To me, the no-brainer here is yes to only citizens. That doesn't mean that you wouldn't count people who have legal status. I think that number should be known. In the but in the state of Illinois, I think that Illinoisans should understand how many people have decided to come to Illinois and have been granted legal status, and to understand, okay, maybe I'm making numbers up. 5% of the people in the state of Illinois are here under legal status. They're in the system, and they're benefiting the state of Illinois through being workers, through learning, whatever it might be. I also think that we should do our level best to count people here who are here and report the number illegally, because this is what I want Illinoisans to understand. You're a sanctuary state. Your governor repeatedly, and the mayor in Chicago, certainly Brandon Johnson, has said this repeatedly about Chicago, have repeatedly said we are here to protect all of our residents. You're protecting all those people with the taxpayer dollars of the people who only have a percentage of the representation in the vote. So if you're trying to pad the system with numbers, and we're just counting heads, it reminds me of the beginning of Home Alone when they're just counting heads to get into the car to go to the airport. And guess what? You counted a head that wasn't supposed to be counted. And that caused problems, obviously, down the road because Kevin was not in the vehicle. When you're just counting heads, the people who actually are supposed to have an actual vote to elect those representatives, there are people that are factoring into that equation that don't actually get to have a vote because they haven't done what they need to do to have a vote. They can acquire one. There's a system that exists that they can go through so they can acquire said opportunity to vote. But the representation in our elected government should only reflect the people who have the ability to vote them in and vote them out. And to me, that's as simple as it gets. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't know how many people are among us that have a legal status, and how we shouldn't know the number of how many people that are being brought in to take the resources away from the tax pool of the state of Illinois, because actually it might affect my voting habits if I realize that the people in elective office are taking, making up numbers again, 10% of all the taxpayer money that comes in, and it's going to people who aren't even actually in the system. I got a problem with that. A representative government should be dictated on the people who are part of the system. And if you want to be a part of the system, do the work, the time, whatever it needs to be to become part of the system. I say citizens only, but I would like to know the numbers on everything. Brad, what do you think? I think citizens only. I think that you remove any incentive for somebody to come here illegally, and to get some sort of representation is, in fact, an incentive for somebody to come to the United States illegally. You don't get anything for coming here illegally. Nothing. So I think you only count the citizens because of all the things you said plus that. Ethan, why don't you give us the results of today's YouTube live chat poll?
252 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll. Should President Trump redo the census? 10% say no, 14% say yes to count all with legal status, and 76% say yes to count only citizens. That's your YouTube live chat poll.
Yeah, 76% is a pretty resounding victory there. I think I agree with that. Is that what we all said? That was our response across the board. We thank you for being with us today. A reminder, go to AnnieFryShow.com and you can watch the show over. You can podcast the show at AnnieFryShow.com. Lots of stuff there for you to take in. You can give us feedback as well. Mark Reardon Show, next. Don't go away.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164.
Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com. I appreciate so much the mental energy that goes into trying to put together some sort of renovation, like a flooring redo in your house, and the life that breathes back into your home. Man, that's such a substantial wake up. I was just saying the other day, like, we put new sheets on my bed. I feel like I have a new bedroom just because of the sheets. When you apply that to the flooring that's in your house, that is going to dramatically impact your ability to enjoy that space and to appreciate the beautiful brand new Michael's Flooring Outlet flooring that you have purchased from people who are just like you. Family owned and operated business here in Missouri. In St. Louis area. They've been in business for over 3 decades, treating people just like you with the dignity, the respect that you deserve. You walk in with a budget. You're looking for quality. You've worked hard for the money that you've made. You want to spend it and get value in return. Michael's Flooring Outlet, that's what they are there to do. You can go online and see their locations, request a free estimate, read their reviews as well at igotfloored.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Honored as heroes. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. 6 soldiers at Fort Stewart in Georgia are given the Meritorious Service Medal for subduing a shooter yesterday or rendering aid to the 5 soldiers shot and wounded, all surviving.
The fast action of these soldiers under stress and under trauma and under fire